I remember.
If you succeed at your luck, you gain 1d10 plus 5. So, Aiden, even though you succeeded at your luck roll, you do get 1d10 plus 5. You know
Oh.
that, right? And if you uh, fail your luck roll, you get 2d10 plus 10. So in
Ooh.
pulp rolls, you always get some luck back at the beginning of the session.
Nice.
Extra fancy.
You guys are the luckiest guys around.
Hey,
Yes.
I succeeded. Wait, I don't want to succeed.
Yeah, you get 1d10 plus 5 anyway,
Oh, sweet.
up to a max of 99.
I'm getting
Oh,
very
and,
close.
hit your record on your OBS too.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Way ahead of you. From 66 to 77. Alright. Ooh.
Yeah. Yep. 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 That's the way it goes.
Ooh. Hey, I'm better at driving now that what was I driving for? Oh, we were fording a river. That's right.
Yeah, you
Fording
ride
the
around on your
river.
magic mobile,
What do I get? 1d10?
The magic
potion
missile.
mobile, or whatever it is.
The herb.
The Potion Express or China Express. What does it
Herb
say
wagon.
on your wagon?
Oh, it says good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
The Good Stuff Express, yeah.
It's the good stuff wagon.
It'll be interesting seeing Stetton.
Do I get to roll 1d10 if I fail?
Yes, you get one. Oh, no, no, not for skills, just for luck.
What do I get for skills?
1d10.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting what
You're lucky, but you're
will
not
happen
that
here.
lucky.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, because of the question mark. Of course you are.
Yes, I am.
What the hell is going on at the Sutton Ranch?
Is it even real? Is it
Really? Yeah.
Is it made? Is it run by ghosts?
That would be a bad Dune Ranch experience.
All right, let's take a little. Is everybody done with their? Stroll down memory lane, shall we?
Alright.
All right, so we're going to look in the journal tab up here where all your character sheets are listed. And here, you guys have seen the quick reference rules. This just shows kind of levels of success. Very thing on how to use luck and how healing works. But I added a couple other things here that I found looked useful. I'm going to show this to you. If you just click on the image, it'll zoom in on your screen. This is the Pulp Cthulhu Luck Cheat Sheet. It tells you pretty much everything you can use luck for. It says you use luck to adjust a skill or characteristic, to adjust weapon fumble or malfunction outcomes. It costs 10. You can have the sanity damage. So you double the sanity that you lost in luck points to half the loss. So if you took 10 sanity, you would spend 20 luck points to decrease that to 5 sanity.
Wow.
You can avoid unconsciousness by spending 1 point. And that point doubles each round after the first to stay conscious. It's kind of a cumulative, you know. The longer you want to stay conscious, the more lucky you have. Interestingly, I didn't know about this and I had to verify it, but it's true. You can regain 1d6 hit points at any time by spending 20 luck points.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know one party member needs that right now.
Yeah.
Hector.
So luck can keep you healthy. Unfortunately, I think Hector's down to 36 luck or something right now, but I'll have him take a look at that. avoid certain death. I'm like, okay, so you spend all your luck points. But to everyone else that's present wherever you died, you're dead. So then once we go on to the next scene, whatever that may be, going back to town or traveling somewhere or camping out at night, that character kind of reappears in the next scene and has to come up with a story on how he survived. It's like, yeah, you guys buried me out in the prairie and I woke up and had to dig myself out, kind of a thing, So that's kind of cool. There's like a story element to avoiding certain death, so it could be fun. Of course, luck cannot be used to adjust luck rolls, damage rolls, pushed rolls, sanity checks, and experience checks. Let's see, what's it say? Avoided non-natural 100. Yeah, if you roll a 100, sorry, that's a fumble. On skill checks anyway. You can't avoid combat fumbles with weapons by spending 10 luck points, I guess. And at the bottom there, it just says how to regain luck, which you all know. So then, and this was kind of more for Stuart, but I found this thing on gambling here. And basically, I could probably just go over it with him. But when you go into a place, either you're playing against the establishment, like the house, like the gambling house, or you're playing against private NPCs. And this first set of bullet points is playing against the house. If you're playing against the house, basically just make a gambling check, and you just follow the rules here. If you fail your gambling check, you lose all your money. If you get a success, you break even. If you get a hard success, you walk out with 3 times the amount you came in with. If you get an extreme success, you walk out with 10 times the amount you entered with. So it's just one gambling roll. We were kind of going back and forth with gambling rolls when Hector was gambling last time. This is much simpler, makes much more sense. If you're gambling against NPCs, then it becomes an opposed roll, kind of like what we were doing. But it's just one roll, and whoever gets the higher level of success basically, takes the pot. On a draw, you break even. So that's just some basic gambling rules there. So we do that right. And just a couple minor things here.
I see you gave us access to Richter's map fragment.
Yeah, you had access to it. It was just probably hidden in a menu. I pulled it out so you could just see it in the whole. I just made everything in the whole list here, so it's easier to see everything. I made a firefight cheat sheet, and this is more for my use. But you can check that out sometime. It gives you some idea on what you get bonus dice and penalty dice for when you're shooting. That's just kind of common sense stuff. And yes, there is a Richter's map fragment. You guys found on Kid Richter with the translation at the bottom. Now, Alex, I was looking at this. You were saying you thought maybe there's some kind of connection with the crying woman, some ghost, that the Mexicans talk about down on the Rio Grande River. This ghost woman who cries down there or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, isn't that what it says on the map or something? But actually, the translation on the map, Alex, is Well of the Holy Mother. If you'll notice that. Okay, so the whole looks like the map, treasure map or whatever it is, starts at the Well of the Holy Mother, wherever that is.
Well, you know what's interesting is the fact that this river on the actual map itself just seems to sort of terminate, which you'd think would be something that we'd be able to find, right? On this map. Like, maybe I'm looking at, like, right here.
Right, like
Maybe
Van Horn Creek comes down out of the Sierra Vieja Mountain there, yeah.
maybe up here. That might be likely, because this is where there was something bad up there, wasn't there? There were like creatures up in the hills, according to legend.
Yeah, that's where Tomas at the El Toreador Cantina was telling you these legends of the Sand Dwellers.
And you completely trusted him.
Yeah, in the Sierra Vieja Mountains. He was talking about the Sand Dwellers, perhaps that's where the legends come from. But so you know here, this is the Rio Grande River right here. It goes right through San Rafael. Okay, that's the main river. That's the border between Texas and Mexico. And this is the river, and actually there's some text on the screen right here. It says something about a crying woman, legends on the banks of this river. So we're kind of talking in the area of San Rafael on the Rio Grande River. where it's said that the La Llorona, the weeping woman, can be heard wailing, and some people have even said they've encountered her ghostly form. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out on Richter's map fragment. Because I was thinking you thought there was the well of the crying woman or something like that. But actually it's the well of the Holy Mother, so, you know. But I see that you're looking at the river there on the map.
I'm looking at anywhere where where a river can terminate.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, this would seem likely, this seems very likely, and this also seems kind of likely, but then we should probably go off into the Sutton Ranch and see what kind of nonsense has been going on around there, because this is all the area where he was talking about the Sand Dwellers living, and obviously the Sand Dwellers are what took down um, that caravan that we found, obviously, because it wasn't natural.
Says Mr. Kwong.
And so we have to,
You completely trusted him.
Yeah,
look, man, there were children's footprints and torn up bodies. I mean, if it were...
Well, no, he's talking about Tomas at the cantina, how you showed him the map and everything. We're kind of in time frame, freeze frame right now, like in media res, like the moment that Dan is walking out of the cantina, wondering if he's going to get bushwhacked. But we'll get to that in a moment.
Well, between you and me,
That's what Aiden's talking about, I think.
If he bushwhacks us, I think we have a really good chance of just taking him down outright. And I don't think the sheriff would mind. He doesn't seem like the nicest person.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, he's like Dan's a total like criminal. Who could take him out?
Yes, he's an absolute
kung fu on his ass.
Well, look, man, this guy is kind of a criminal, right? I mean, does he have any kind of reputation?
The town marshal Mateo is definitely corrupt, yeah. But there's Doug Kirby in town. He's the U.S. Marshal. You've met him. He seems like a straight shooter.
Is he based here in town?
Yeah, the U.S. Marshal has an office in town.
Sounds good.
Yeah, well, actually, I kind of marked up the map here if you guys want to look at it. Gives you a better idea what's in town.
And hey, man, if he attacks me, I have every right to attack him back. Rifle or no rifle.
Kwong thinks to himself. I just wanted to show you a couple more things here.
Where is everybody exactly in town?
We left off with Dan leaving the cantina that night. I think everyone else was hanging out up here at the Longhorn Saloon. You know, you guys got some rumors and stuff, and that's what I wanted to go over real quick. Is just some of the gossip and hearsay that you guys have heard since you've been in San Rafael. I made this little handout. Apparently, there's some old mountain lion as smart as a man up in the Eagle Mountains. It's said that the cat has killed dozens of cattle and killed a dozen men who've hunted for it. You guys also heard stories of Indians not wanting to really cross the Rio Grande at San Rafael because they're afraid of demons that live in the surrounding mountains and canyons. And that's kind of attached to the story of the original Spanish mission that came across, that was chased over, you know, across the river by the Mexican Indians back in old times. The Indians wouldn't follow them across the river. Then there's some Apache legends of the hidden people of the desert, the Sand Dwellers, which is what we were just talking about. I believe one of you guys in the saloon was talking to some drunk greenhorn about, you saying something about
like two people. I think it was me.
Talking about
Isaac.
Some treasures of the San Benito mission. And they are talking about on moonlit nights the ruins of the old original Spanish mission sometimes appear in the desert across the river. That's kind of interesting. Some say there's a fortune in gold hidden in the lost Spanish mission. And I think, Alex, you found out about this. Tomas was also telling you about rumors of some treasures of gold and jewels somewhere in the catacombs beneath the new mission building in San Rafael. That's the San Benito Church here. It's the new mission. That building's like 160 years old or something like that.
Mm.
Rumors of catacombs in there. And then rumors of ghost lights in the Sierra Viejas. The Mexicans and the Indians think there's like gold and silver out in the mountains guarded by evil spirits. And then, of course, the crying woman sometimes walks the banks of the Rio Grande. They say she has drowned young men who have tried to woo her, carried off young children who have wandered away from their mothers. And Mexican mothers in town and in this area warn their children to come when called, lest La Llorona come for them.
Well, what I think. I mean, obviously, I do not believe that the San Benito Church has a bunch of gold stored under it, and even if it did, that's none of our business. But, however, there's a huge theme of crazy, weird wolf children out in the hills,
Mm.
just creatures out there. So I think we should investigate that. I mean, this family of Wagoneers
We should
died.
probably store up on a bunch of stuff before we go.
Oh yeah, we do have a general
Mhm.
store around here somewhere. Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah,
Probably
I'd like to go.
get
Yeah, there's a general
probably
store,
get
hardware
ammo.
store. Yep.
Wow, what is the population of this place to warrant 2 cemeteries?
The population's only about 800 currently.
It's
Most of
busy
it-
in the cemetery.
Yeah, that's just townsfolk. I mean, there's some outlying ranches and stuff and farms. But the 2 cemeteries, the larger one on the north side of town there, that's the old San Benito Cemetery. That cemetery is probably a couple hundred years old. It's where the Mexicans basically used that cemetery. Then the other cemetery on the east side of town is connected to the what's the name of that church there? It's the San Rafael Church of Christ. So all the good Christians, all the good white Christians are buried there in that cemetery. It's the most smaller, kind of newer cemetery. And just the last thing I wanted to put up on the screen for you guys is this. I kind of put together a list. It's a little more clear than what's on the map. And you can refer to all these handouts in your journal here if you ever want to look at them. And this, it's a map key by number. Kind of just give you what the name of the place is in town and kind of who runs it or who's there or some people that you've heard of in town. So it just gives you a good overview. San Rafael.
The tax office or the assayer's office on there, Sean?
I think that would fall under the jurisdiction of probably the tax collector in town. It's not listed on the map, but there's an assayer office in town. It's where all the prospectors go to make their claims, or people come to buy land, from the government in the area, things like that. But let me make sure. I think the population, actually, Alex, you asked, population of San Rafael is more like 1,200.
Okay.
It's about 60% Hispanic.
Sounds good.
I think that's it. I just want to kind of go over some things to familiarize you guys
What
a little
is-
bit with the area.
What does the text in the Lobo Valley say?
The Lobo Valley. Can you ping it? Let's see. Okay, that text says, may have seen ghostly lights in the shadows of the Sierra Vieja.
I think it says many.
Yeah, many, maybe. This one up above it says, I've marked some of the largest farms and ranches in the valley. Some of that's kind of hard to read. And then interestingly, I pointed out to you guys on the map last week, it's over here. This down here says mission here, or was the mission here?
Jeez, and how many miles is that? Let's take a look here at the
The ruler's accurate.
5 miles, so like a 3-mile radius in either of those areas. 2 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. It's all desert over there on the other side of the river down in Chihuahua. But yeah, I think the ruler's pretty accurate on here. The river
Thanks for the
valley.
reference material, man.
Yeah, this came right out of the Dark Trails book. It's an awesome map. Some good stuff in there.
Yeah, and all the handouts too. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. But of course, the San Rafael Valley, which kind of comes up along the river here and then goes up to the Green River through these ranches. So the elevation's much lower, but surrounding that valley, I mean, this is very mountainous terrain up here in southwest Texas. Just north of here, not even 50, 60 miles, you're entering New Mexico. Up towards El Paso, which is the biggest town around these parts.
And
You
this
guys are kind
is
of near the border of New Mexico, is where you are.
yeah. This says some claim to have a what?
Yeah, that's regarding the crying woman.
Oh, some
To
claim
have
to have seen a crying woman.
seen a woman near the river here. A crying woman near the river here, I think.
Near the river here. Cool.
No.
Okay. And then down here are the
Are the caves here inhabited?
uninhabited.
No, inhabited.
Oh, inhabited. Inhabited? By what?
Are they wonders, Dan? I don't know. This map you acquired in some trade deal, with some of your goods. Somebody gave you this map. There's a stamp on it. It says property of the Sandovals. So whoever made this map, I guess, made some notations on here, kind of local legends and stuff in the area.
Huh.
Who knows? I mean, that wasn't actually on the originally published map. It's kind of handwritten on there,
Yeah. I've marked some of the it's a little
larger farms and ranches in the area. In the
okay.
valley. Up here it says
mountain lions.
Mountain lions. Down here it says that bastard killed my cousin, Abe.
He somehow just got it. And just wrote that down.
Yep, Abe's marking up your map with a quill.
Oh, it could be down here though too. This looks promising right here.
So, Alex, as you're exiting, it's kind of getting late at night now. We're talking, it's 11 p.m., probably getting close to midnight. Hector is still doing some gambling. At the Longhorn.
Abe is asleep.
At the Longhorn, yeah. Abe and Isaac are probably getting a little tired hanging out at the Longhorn. They probably had a few too many beers, a little too much whiskey. I think we left off with Isaac. He has two saloon girls on his lap. So as you're leaving, the El Toreador, Alex, you kind of get this, this feeling. Hair kind of stands up in the back of your neck a little bit. It's kind of chilled. You're kind of looking around like you feel like you're being followed. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I told this Tomas Navarro guy, about the map, and you paid him for all of this crazy information. So
where exactly am I right now?
The El Toreador is number 4 on the map. It's down here. Here, we'll ping you there.
Thank you.
Down
And
here
so,
in the south part of town.
okay. And so I imagine I exit, so I'm probably heading north. So I'm probably where? Like here?
Yeah, you're probably heading up this way.
Okay. As soon as I get that weird feeling, I'm going to try and let's see here. U.S. Marshals over here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and cut through to here.
Okay. Can you give me a stealth roll?
Sure thing.
I decided I'm gonna start rolling real dice, just so you guys can hear it. Like I'll put my microphone down here and be like, "Oh."
You said you want me to do a stealth roll. Well, you know,
Yep.
I'm.
See if you can cut through the block and lose whoever. You're starting to kind of panic. You're getting paranoid.
I'm the stealthiest guy in town with a 91.
All right, so you cut through this alley and you're looking behind you, and you kind of stumble over like this kind of refuse on the ground, and this dog kind of comes out of nowhere and starts barking at you. And you're
Okay.
like, "Oh." So you're kind of getting it. The dog just doesn't look like it's going to attack you, but it's like barking very loudly at you.
That's good. I'm gonna head on over to the Longhorn Saloon.
All right, Dan, you enter the front door of the Longhorn Saloon.
All right, any of my buddies in here? How packed is this place?
That's not too packed tonight. There's probably about 20 people in here. You see Hector over there in the corner sitting down. He's playing cards. And you see Isaac and Abe are over there at the bar. Isaac's talking to some girls. What's Abe doing at the bar over there?
Abe would probably just thinking to himself, and then
He's not counting his money on the bar. Okay.
Probably. Then he sees Dan. He's like,
yeah, Dan comes in. He looks a little pale. His eyes are wide. He's scared.
I immediately go to him and ask him what's going on.
I head up to the bar and I kind of like, I'm shifty-eyed. I look back at the entrance. I like gesture towards the bar. Keep it natural. I have much to tell you.
What is wrong?
All right, we head up to the bar. I slam what? How much is a drink here? 10 cents? 5 cents? 20 cents?
It's like 20 for just the rock gut whiskey. It's 20 good stuff.
Okay.
Well, I'll send the girls away temporarily. I'm like, go away.
Leave me.
Leave me alone.
All right, so Lee and Aiden, I need both of you guys. You guys have probably both spent about, I don't know, about like $6 each. So mark that off your sheets. You bought the girls some drinks and stuff. They're fine. They go away. They leave you alone. But yeah, it's like 20 cents for some whiskey. It's a beer is a dime.
Okay, I buy the three of us a beer, and I tell the long regaling tale, sort of in hushed tones, sort of every once in a while, looking back across my shoulder towards the entrance, making sure I'm not being followed or nobody I saw in the El Toreador coming in, and I'm telling them the gist of what I learned. And I also tell them, of course, the man at the El Toreador. What's his name? The guy who I showed the map to?
Us.
Oh, did we lose Dad? Or did I lose everybody?
Tomas?
Oh, Tomas, yes. Tomas.
Right?
Yes, Tomas. I saw there's a man at the El Toreador. His name is Tomas. Very knowledgeable man, very good man. I take that part back. Not very good man, but nonetheless, I showed him the map fragment, and he told me a lot.
Like, holds in a chuckle.
He told me
exactly what did he tell you?
he told me about okay, so yeah, I inform you of the rumors, the children, the people of the sand, the locations, the information that I had learned from Tomas.
Interesting.
Shifty-eyed, I take out a pipe with some kind of some strange tobacco, maybe like soaked in some kind of oil, and I start smoking.
That's an awful lot of ill tales. tempting.
Yes, I think we are being hunted, though. I don't have a good feeling. I believe I was followed here. At least I'm being tailed.
Abe and Isaac, give me a psychology check.
You know, I don't think I'm gonna get this.
Never say never.
Yeah, Abe, you've never really gotten people too much, but every once in a while you may gain some kind of insight. All right. Dan does look pretty shaken.
So Abel,
He thinks he's being followed, apparently.
stay with Dan for a minute, and War Club will just walk over to the front of the bar and step out with a cigarette, and smoke a minute, and just kind of scan the area out there.
All right.
I kind of grab your arm as you leave, and I say, "Be careful."
Yeah, I'm just
Take this
scanning,
weapon. Take this.
scanning the street to see if anybody's basically if anybody's staring at the front of the saloon. Again, I'm rolling my cigarette.
No, there aren't many streetwalkers out tonight. There's a few people about, just dirt farmers mostly. You actually see the town marshal Mateo ride by in his horse down here at the intersection, probably riding up towards where his office is. Not much going on in the street tonight. It's dark. It's kind of cooled off a little bit. You know, it's very hot in the daytime, mid-high 90s. Still kind of humid, but a lot of these people in this town, you figure, are, home sleeping at this point. It is, almost midnight.
Okay.
Everything's locked up.
Yeah, if I don't see anybody or anybody skulking around, I'll come back in the saloon and let Dan know. Anybody?
They could
Doesn't
be
mean you weren't
hiding.
followed though.
Yeah, I think I'm being tailed at the very least. I mean, I got the feeling,
War Club gives you an assuring, ain't nobody.
I'm
You're-
I'm gonna finish my beer. I'm gonna pay for it,
I'm back.
and
Go to sleep.
yeah, I probably have my wagon stashed out somewhere, like maybe out here somewhere.
Delivery.
Yeah,
Delivery.
actually, I didn't put it on the map. I'll put it there. It's number 7 on the map here.
Like, I'm gonna, just a precaution, I'm just gonna ask Dan for the fragment.
Oh, right. Yeah, I give you the map fragment, and I say, keep it safe. And I leave the bar, and I head out towards my wagon. You said that's the livery stable?
Yeah, number
All right.
7.
Well, I'm gonna take my wagon, and I'm gonna head out a bit, a little bit out of town, maybe over here somewhere,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm gonna stash it and sleep.
All right, so you're just gonna ride out in your wagon, just kind of out there in the field, and sleep in your
Yeah,
coach. Okay.
yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
Is Isaac gonna stay up for a while?
Yeah, dude, Isaac gets those 2 girls again, and they come up to his room. The party ensues.
That's
Hey,
not a
this
problem.
is-
Yeah, I don't know how much more gold that costs, but as long
Where's
as it's a clean establishment, if you get my drift.
Yeah. I don't know. You do have gold, man. And down here in Texas, especially kind of on the frontier here, those gold coins, they might say $1 on them, but they're worth more than that. So a few gold coins will get you a lot here in this town. Of course, you see him kind of nod and wink to this guy over there sitting at the bar, and you recognize him, Lee. Well, you don't recognize him personally, but you think that must be Bob Sutton, the owner of the place, sitting over there at the bar. He's sitting with a guy talking to him, and he sees you going up the stairs with the girls, and the girls kind of nod at him as you're going up. He gives you this sidelong glance. Okay, so the night passes uneventfully, and you guys wake up in the morning to the sound of piano music downstairs at the Longhorn. They start early here, I guess. It's probably about 8 a.m. There's kind of some soft, slow piano music going on down there.
Does
For
it
a
double
beer
as a
tonight.
restaurant?
Yeah, they serve food here.
Hmm.
The smell of eggs and bacon cooking. And Dan, you wake up out there in the field to the rooster crowing out there somewhere.
All right. I guess I'll head back and um, keep everything at the livery stable again. Head back over to the Longhorn Saloon for the morning. Have breakfast. And
We all gather and have breakfast.
yeah. Where do
All in one table.
we want to
Coffee.
go?
To go to the assayer's office and see if there's any properties for sale around town or property for sale out by the doctor's ranch, Van Helsing's ranch, because we have all this money. As well invested.
That's
and
true.
you actually have to pick up your money from the marshal's office this morning as well.
Yeah, so
All right.
I think we marked all the cash
go to
on
the
your
marshal.
sheet, so let's just kind
Yeah.
of stop by.
Yeah, let's stop by the marshals, pick up our money, and I like that
Get some
idea,
stuff.
but we already have, I mean,
We should probably get some stuff before we leave.
we have
Just
Van
in
Helsing's
case.
ranch. I mean, we could, I don't know how much money we want to tie up in real estate, but
Just something I'm just interested in. I mean, we don't have to necessarily do it, but it's something to check out.
that's true. I mean, if this creepy
there's-
house up here in the corner is for sale, there might be a reason why.
Exactly, or exactly. We
All right.
collect our money, and then we head over to the assayer's office, man.
Okay.
I like
you
it.
do the let's see, the marshal's deputies there, and he's got a wallet there, and he pulls the cash out and gives it to you guys. I think I it came to, I don't know, roughly. I think you guys got 833 gold, and I think it was about 300 each or something like that. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was 833 gold, 300 each, and then another.
Okay. So 338 cash. Hector's happy. He lost a bunch of money last night, remember?
Yeah.
Well, not too much, but I'll make up for it.
Are my assets accurate here, Dad? I have $833 in gold. That does not sound correct.
Yes, you do. You guys split all the gold from Kid Richter's stash.
Holy cow.
It's mostly gold coin.
That's what I was saying. Property or something, just something to think about since we have all this money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the coins have they're written in Spanish. They're Mexican coins. That Richter, they robbed a train down there apparently.
And nobody wants that back?
You would
No, there's
think,
nothing.
yeah.
There's nothing better than stolen gold spent.
Yeah, I don't think you guys told the marshal anything about any gold that I recall.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Let's just keep it that way.
Yeah,
Alright.
833 gold each.
I go
Sounds
to
good
a
to
general
me.
store just to get some gear.
All right. Actually, I think there's some gear in. I just want to take a look at it up here on the. You guys want to mosey into the general store, the hardware store, down here towards the bottom. We can zoom in a little bit on that. There's kind of a list of stuff here you might want to equip yourself. Things like whiskey bottles, bear traps, hammers, fuses, dynamite, Let's see, what's it say down here in gold? It says gold, 1 ounce. Black Hills price $20. Gold 1 ounce, New York price $17.50.
Let's see. How much is a whole chicken?
Whole chicken? Uh,
5
I don't know.
cents?
How much is a whole chicken? Yeah, it's probably less than $1, I would imagine. At least in
I
this
get
town.
a tent.
Considering that 10 pounds of bacon is 60 cents.
Right. Yeah.
I get a tent, one-man tent.
Alrighty. Hey, look at this,
Oil.
Lee. Hey, Lee, check this out. Under miscellaneous, it says underground mine, small, sale price, 4,000 to 25,000.
Ooh.
Underground mine, major, sale price, 100,000 to 400,000. That'd be something to say about for a gold mine or a silver mine.
That sounds like a good investment to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys kind of are in mining country.
I like this dude who's inexplicably being attacked by a goat in this advertisement.
That's just the way goats are. They're kind of random like that.
Especially after they've been drinking Bach beer.
Right. Yep.
Drunk and pissed as hell.
So you got your cigars, you got your banjos.
How long would that
What
10
a-
pounds of bacon stay good?
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, that's what a lot of people took out on the trails, bacon, because, you know, once you salt it and kind of dry it, I guess it preserves pretty well.
Okay.
Just cook it in a skillet over an open fire, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They say people taste like pork, and there are cannibalistic demon children out there in the hills. So I'm gonna buy 20 pounds of bacon.
Yeah, I'm sure like Isaac knows. Isaac probably knows like a man could live on bacon. I know because I have.
And then let's see, what else would I?
You gotta supplement your bacon diet with
Cigars.
wild candy.
Cigars. Yeah.
whiskey and cigars.
Yep, whiskey and cigars.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
buy
just gonna
20
list a bunch
pounds of
stuff.
bacon here. Sounds good to me. And then I'm gonna
There's some
buy.
good ideas on here. Of course, it's not
What do you think?
expensive, but
2 bear traps?
If you have the trap skill.
Somebody does, don't they? Somebody's got to have the trap skill.
No one.
I've got a 10 in trap.
10 in trap, man.
Well, okay, 10 in trap is not particularly good, but I think, I don't know, do you need a percentile to, like, I guess that would go into where you place it, right?
where you place what now?
A trap, if you're trying to trap a predator with a bear trap, that's a trap roll.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's more to it than just setting it on the ground and setting the spring.
Right.
I think, you know, Isaac being a mountain man, he's not so much a trapper. I think he's more of a hunter, wouldn't you say, Lee?
He's more of a scout, but
Scout,
yeah, he doesn't do a lot of. He's definitely more of a hunter, like you said, and a scout. He's not a trapping guy because
more like an explorer type.
yeah,
From sea to shining sea.
A gentleman's toilet set.
Oh yes.
So did I miss anything plot related or anything? Hi, yeah, I'm here, by the way.
What's up, Stuart? No, we're just shopping.
Okay. Yeah,
Shopping.
shopping. Good stuff.
Yeah, we picked up the cash from the marshal's office.
Okay.
I think I marked everything on everybody's sheet. I think it came to about $338 cash each. And of course,
Cool.
everyone has the stolen
Wow.
gold.
330
Richter.
each. That's a lot back then. Holy crap.
Oh yeah. So I think I
and
knew.
you had the 833 in gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
We're loaded.
So,
Well, more or
so
less.
so what we're doing, we're just kind of looking down here, just some ideas of what kind of shit to buy. Like I said, you get
Yeah,
everything from whiskey bottles to oil lamps to
I
gentlemen's toilet
barely have
sets.
anything, so I'm just gonna buy a bunch of stuff.
Dude, it wouldn't hurt to stock up. You know how this game is. You never know when um, that hammer might come in handy, or that lantern, or and I see on here also, Lee, a land patent from the U.S. government, $1,000. And I looked that up briefly, and I think what that is, when you buy land from the U.S. government, they kind of charge you a fee for the paperwork. That's the fee for it.
Sure.
So you're gonna have to pay that in addition to whatever the land costs, I guess, something like that. Maybe some feed for your horses is always a good thing to kind of keep on hand. Um, Stuart, we briefly talked about buying a mine because it's on the list.
Mine.
Yeah.
That's an option. Okay.
It's on the list. It's under miscellaneous.
Well, Lee has an itch
Oh,
to.
Lee, look, clothing, buffalo robe, $10.
Get that.
Lee has an itch to invest in some property and make some money, so I mean that seems like the best way to do it.
Yep.
But we're not in California, so who knows?
I'm
I mean,
just gonna
it's just something,
put it like a
it's something
keg
to
of
look
beer.
at, you know.
Yeah.
I ask him, like, I get a keg of beer,
Absolutely.
like 2 kegs.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, get two; it'll last longer. Oh, and Stuart, I also the only thing you really miss is I went over some rules refreshers. If you look in your journal tab at the top right there, where all your character sheets are listed and everything, there's a luck cheat sheet that you can look at, and it shows you everything you can use your luck on, all the luck rules, just kind of a reminder.
Gotcha.
Take a look
Oh, and I see
at that.
gambling right beneath it too.
Yeah. So there's two types of gambling. It turns out there's gambling against a house, which is like just kind of gambling against an establishment,
Yeah.
and you kind of determine how much you want to go in. If it's a high stakes game, it could be as much as 125, $200, or a lower stakes game, and then you just kind of go through those bullet point steps to determine how well you do. It's one gambling roll. With NPCs, with gaming against specific non-player characters, it's the second set here, kind of like we were doing. It's a roll off, but you just do one roll each, and you can determine the winner with just one roll.
Ah, I see.
So whoever gets the higher level of success, basically, you're looking for those hard or extreme successes to do really well in gambling. It's not just beating the other guy on the dice. It's kind of like level of success.
Glycerin.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
kind of cool. Like, for example, gambling against the establishment. If you get into a high stakes game, you got $200 in. You make your gambling roll. You get an extreme success. You walk out with 10 times the amount you entered with. So that's $2,000.
Oh, see now that we know this, does that place we were at last session, do they have a house game?
We'll see. We'll see if they have any high stakes games. I'm sure maybe sometimes they do. But remember, this is kind of over a period of time too. It's not like you make a roll per game. It's like an evening of gambling, kind of a thing.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
It's like sitting down for a few hours, playing some cards. You make a roll and see how you make out. So you can't just sit there all night just rolling and rolling and rolling.
Well, yeah, because that 90%, man.
Right. You're either broke or you walk out with a suitcase full of cash. No, it's not like that. It's kind of like, but you have a great gambling skill, so I would definitely put it to use. And the only other things are kind of down here underneath the character sheets on the list. Some of the handouts like gossip and hearsay, San Rafael locations and NPCs, history and background. The gossip and hearsay I showed to these guys, just kind of the weird and eerie kind of stuff that you learned before last night. And then this can be handy too, the San Rafael locations and NPCs. You can pull that up. It's a numbered key for the town map. It kind of gives you the establishments and the personalities in town. So I just kind of went over that stuff real quick. Oh, and skill checks too. You can roll for any skills you have checked. And roll your luck as well. Okay, so back to shopping. Coffee pot, $1.
I already got that. That's the one thing I actually would get
And you got to
in
get the
this
sugar.
game.
with
Both.
it. Yep.
Yeah,
They have
coffee is absolutely essential.
they have dynamite at the hardware store down
I
the
already
street.
got some.
25 cents per stick.
All right, I get 10.
Make sure you get your blasting caps or your fuse.
What do we roll the increase if we
It's a 1d10 for skills.
1d10? Okay,
And it's 2d10 plus 10 for luck.
that's right. Okay.
And even if
The
you
skills
make,
are only 1d10.
yeah, and even if you make your luck roll, you still get some too. It's 1d10
Okay.
plus 5. I noticed you're the only one. Everybody else has like awesome luck right now, Stuart. And
Oh,
it's
dude.
and you used a lot of luck in the Kid Richter showdown. So.
Yeah, well, I started the game with I think 30 luck. I mean,
Oh, okay, that explains.
I started low. So 2d10 plus 10?
Yes, if you fail
Okay.
a luck roll. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lee, let's go to the assayer's office here.
How can I roll? Did that only roll one?
It didn't roll any
Wow.
pluses, and the reason is in that macro, don't use the plus sign, just use the modifier.
Yeah.
Just the number.
No, I didn't even use the macro. I hit 2d10 and I rolled a 6.
Okay, well then add 10, you get 16.
Yep.
It's because you rolled a 1.
Yeah. So I'm out of luck. I don't know.
Well, you're not totally out of luck. You're
No.
still holding your guts in, though.
Barely.
You crawl out of bed this morning,
Oh.
you wish you weren't even alive.
We might need the doctor to just come
No,
over.
hold on. Remember the skill where you can use how many luck points to heal 1, 2 to 6 or something?
Right,
like
right. Check this out, Stuart. I'll show it to you. So this
Oh.
luck cheat sheet that I was talking about. If you notice, it says regain 1d6 hit points for 20 points of luck. That's a pretty steep price,
Wow. That is a steep price.
but could come in handy. Also, no,
It is an option.
yeah, it is an option. I mentioned this before, but it's pointed out right here. Avoid certain death. If you die, like you almost did, you can spend all your luck points to avoid certain death.
Which means I do not want to go beneath 30 points.
That's right. You have to have that 30 minimum.
Okay.
And what's interesting, Stuart, is when you die and you avoid certain death with luck, everybody present who when you died like really thinks you're dead, like you actually died. They could have buried you or left you or whatever. And what happens is the character who avoided certain death appears in the next scene and has to explain his story about how he avoided certain death.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that is interesting.
So let's hurry up and get to some combat so somebody can die. We'll have some fun.
Yeah. It'll probably be me. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Hector's gonna be a little more cautious of beware men with shotguns.
So Lee, at the assayer's office, there is some land for sale in the area. There's actually a few houses in town that are for sale, much more affordable than what the government wants for land in the outlying area in the valley. You're looking at $10,000 plus for tracts of land out there. If you want a small plot, you're looking at more, $3,000 to $5,000, including the land patent. There are also some claims, some mines for sale as well, but they're way out of your range right now. But you could buy one of these. You could buy a house for a couple grand. There's a nice one. Yeah, there's a nice like 2-story like adobe house, fairly new for $2 grand. It's big. It's got like 16 rooms.
I would actually put some money into that.
Yeah, there's maybe a smaller one for a few $100.
Right, I'm gonna give you
bit more of a
all of
humble
my
abode.
gold because it might be useful. It's gonna be useful.
Let me ask you this: besides the sweet adobe place, are there any plots of land for sale adjacent to Van Helsing's land?
The assayer says, "Well, you're going to have to talk about Van Helsing about that."
Sure, Van Helsing's got a whole plot. I mean, I
So
was
the answer is
squatting
no.
in.
Yeah, the answer he doesn't have any land. The government doesn't have any land for sale out there.
Okay.
But he's
I'm
kind
I'm
of hinting that
certain
Van Helsing might.
Well,
I'm certain Van Helsing won't
who
mind if we
owns all
squat on
of
his
the
property.
land? Who owns all of the land around that property? Like, can you
The
expand
government
it?
mostly.
I would invest my money into getting a house.
That's
That
probably
new Adobe house is actually pretty good. Base of operations.
Hmm.
I'm more partial to the battle wagon idea. I say we get a. I see we get a wagon, put some money
Can
in,
live
just
the
get some
dream.
armor. Yeah, just put some armor plating on there. Mount double Gatling guns to either side. Get 4
Or
horses to
we
pull
can
that
have
thing.
both. We can have the
Sure.
house, and from the house can emerge the battle wagon.
I do
Yeah,
Have an
have.
entire garage to the house is just for the battle wagon.
I
Yes,
do
let's
already
do it.
have the good stuff wagon.
The good stuff wagon. We will transfer the good stuff wagon.
Yeah, we are. One of us already has a
Battle
wagon, don't we?
Yeah, that would be myself. I have the good stuff
Yeah.
wagon, and it's
Yeah,
a big
So,
wagon.
Let's
Sean,
get
if we
let's get
a
the
big
house
wagon's
first.
what we need. Yeah.
Let's get the
if we
house
split
first.
up, if we split up the cost betwixt us
I'm gonna.
per person. So what is it, 2,000? So how many people do we have?
4
So now-
presently.
For if we're looking at a house,
We-
doesn't Van Helsing have a house?
He does.
Yeah, but
He's got a
it's-
spread down there on the ranch. Yeah, for sure.
I don't think he will allow us right now.
It's not in town. It's several miles out of town, though. This is actually in town.
All right,
let's
let's
see.
get the one
So-
in town.
How much
I'm
would
not
it
sure-
cost
well,
to?
I'm not sure we should build the battle wagon in town.
How much would it cost to
Perhaps-
mount a
perhaps we should
machine
build
gun
it
to
in
the
town.
top of
We
my
can
wagon?
build the
Town.
battle wagon in Van Helsing's.
Yeah.
How much would
I
it
feel
cost to
like-
mount
But it's
a
gonna be a
machine
good
gun to the top
base
of my wagon?
operations. That Adobe house is pretty good for a base of operations.
Yeah, it'd be
No matter what.
500 each, Lee, between the 4 of you.
All right.
If you pay with gold, it might be a little less. To answer your
Alright,
question,
I'll
Alex,
just pay
of course,
gold.
the first step is to acquire the Gatling guns. Now, this isn't something that's kind of for sale at the hardware store, of course. Probably have to go steal one from, the nearest fort, from the U.S. Army or something.
Well,
This might
right
be-
now I
this
use
might
the
be
top of
interesting
my
in itself.
wagon.
This would be. I'm liking this idea. Because we could get this wagon set up, put armor plating around the whole thing, including the top, and so it's completely, it's completely covered from all angles. We can mount a forward-facing Gatling gun, mount a backward-facing Gatling gun, and then have slits in the side so people can shoot out as well.
Ah, you don't even need the back-facing Gatling gun. You can have you can just have it swivel.
So, but the problem with that is if it swivels, then it would need to be like on top, and then it would have to be exposed, so the person using it would be exposed.
So,
See,
hey,
originally I was gonna say, hey, let's drop a Gatling gun on either side of a horse and run around with that.
so Lee, as you're talking to the assayer, and he's showing you some maps, and quoting you some prices and stuff like that, he seems to kind of overhear Hector as he's talking back there. You can't really hear what he's saying, but he kind of overhears and kind of looks at Hector. He's got this kind of disgusted look on his face for a moment.
Wait, he hears me talking about Gatling guns?
Maybe.
Ah, shit.
There's a moment of awkward silence, and then he goes back to showing you the maps.
I wink at him.
He's
Hector
probably
was
just
talking about. I wink at him. Yeah.
I like tell him to please excuse my friend. He's very, very off.
Well, what we can do, I mean, I use the top of my wagon to grow my herbs and stuff. What we could do is we could buy 2 more heavy wagons and make a train out of it, pulled by a larger team of horses. Then you can have a forward-facing Gatling gun
Oh.
on the
Nice.
one train, and then another Gatling gun on the back. That would
Which
also leave it
Anything.
that would leave us with enough space so that we would all be able to sleep in the wagons, and we'd have a house on the move.
The guy, the
that way
assayer,
anything-
says to you under his breath, Lee, he says, "Who's the Chinaman?" He's a white guy.
He's a
talking to
friend.
you. He says, "Who's the Chinaman?" He's asking you directly, Lee.
I
Some guy.
overhear that.
He's a good friend.
A friend of yours?
That's right.
I see.
You got a problem with that?
No, no problem at all. So now this plot of land over here.
I wink at him again.
I tell him to get out.
Tell
You're not
who to-
out.
Oh, he tells Dan to get out. Get out.
Okay, and I leave.
He leaves. The Chinaman leaves. All right. So yeah, I think I said that comes to, what did I say? So you're asking
Let's
about
get the house first. Get the house.
Yeah, the
It'll be
big
a good
house.
First off, it's going to be a good beginner.
You don't want to get the 4,000-pound wagon?
I'm in favor of
We'll work up to that.
4,000-pound
How
wagon.
about we just start gradually?
We have
I like
We
the
need
war
to start
wagon idea.
gradually.
how much does a safe cost? Because that's what we need in the house. We need a good safe.
Right. Let's see. A lockable cash box is about all he has. That's just a few bucks. He says he can order you a safe.
Throw away, my good man.
Yeah, he says for about $200 I can get you one you could trust. Made
I
in
wonder if Van Helsing could cook up a rocket launcher or something. Think about because we've got TNT. Well, hold on. We've got TNT. I am sure the doctor can find a way to make this TNT into a grenade launcher of sorts. And we can just have what do you call it? Have one of those loaded on the bottom of the Gatling gun. So, if need arises, just boom.
Well,
That might drift over into the weird science category, I'm afraid.
The doctor, perhaps the doctor should look into learning some weird science.
Yeah, we may go there someday.
that was the origin of fireworks, so I mean,
fireworks have been around.
Tell you what, Lee, give me a luck roll. If you make your luck roll, he's got safe. How about that? It's going to be expensive, though. Nice. Yeah, he says he takes you in the back room. And this is at the hardware store when you're there. We're kind of doing different areas at the same time here. $100. Fairly new. It's used, but as you can see, it's in great condition.
Sure.
And I'll throw in the combination for free.
Smooth.
Funny.
All right, $100.
Yeah, great.
He says you're gonna have
make
to
sure you pay him in paper money.
He says now you're gonna have to haul it out of here, mister.
See, we needed a wagon.
Can we get the land first? We can get the...
Yeah, there's not much land patents available right now for what you guys can afford.
Let's get the
So
house.
we'll, yeah,
the
so
house.
I think when the other players come along, we'll have them pay their fair share.
Yeah, there you go. I think Kyle's character is actually already pretty rich. He's a pretty successful bounty hunter. He's got cash already.
My gambling goes well, I can get us a lot of money too. If.
All right, so you got a safe.
Gambling.
You got some general equipment here, dynamite, and so on and so forth. Hardware store sells wagons. You have to kind of pre-order them, though. They build them for you. Looking about $50 for a heavy wagon. If you want something even heavier, you just got to pay more.
That wagon, the goods wagon.
yeah,
What kind of wagon is that? Is that like a heavy wagon, or is that just
Yes.
kind of an old wagon?
it is
It
a
is
heavy wagon.
So,
Yeah.
so if we were to use that, then we wouldn't need to buy another wagon.
Right.
Let's get a light then a heavy.
But that wagon is my it's my livelihood. I do have all my stuff in there. But that
That's
said,
true.
we can mount. I probably could figure out a way to mount machine gun on the back and front, and then
No.
just plate
Oh
it with
my.
armor.
Hold up. I just realized something. If we're making this wagon custom, we could get away with one Gatling gun because we could just put a hole in the top, like, and have like a turret, like a swiveling turret at the very top, so it's still
Oh my
armor.
God. We don't have that kind of technology.
Yet.
Says Abe.
I don't know, man. The doctor might be. The doctor's actually not mechanically inclined at all, but he knows his chemicals.
I don't think
Once
any
we,
of us are
once
really
we-
mechanically
Once
inclined.
we find once we
I
find
find-
You know what? Maybe my
once we
backup
find a
character will be an
machine gun.
engineer.
Let's
a
just
machine
have
gun,
that
maybe we
guy.
can consider it.
I mean, that's not necessarily true because, I mean, we could on the top of the wagon just put sort of a rounded, just sort of a rounded top, so we have, you know, the wagon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like have a top that has a little hole in it that we can, you know, mount the. We can have the thing mounted to the wagon itself and just sticking out the top, and then somebody can just get up in the turret and shoot.
Well, Nick Peel at Peel's Hardware says that his brother, carpenter, he builds custom wagons.
Boom.
So if you wanted something custom built, we could certainly take care of that for you.
Yeah, because
what are we looking about? You know, what's the load? We're looking at 4,000, 5,000 pounds.
How heavy is armor plating? Because I mean, we could honestly, I mean, we could put the
armor what?
plating. Yeah, armor plating. You know, like
Scrap metal.
big
Armor.
sheets of bulletproof metal. I mean, this is the Wild West. The guns here, they hit hard, but not that hard.
Nick Peel scratches his head and he says, "You mean like tin? You mean
Yeah.
like metal? Metal
Yeah.
plating on the wagon,
Yeah,
like iron, or
yeah.
is what you boys going to war?"
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, his expression just falls off his face. He says, "Oh." He says, "Well, we could talk to Monty and see what he could do."
I mean, we don't need very thick. We could probably
could
just do
start
some
the
basic scrap
process.
metal.
Yeah, I mean, it just
Let's
needs
just-
to. I mean, this is 1800s. The guns
just
back
like
then did
ask
not
him.
shoot as hard as the guns today. Not even close. So I'm sure it would take less metal to make it bulletproof.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to ask for him to give me a light wagon.
Oh yeah, they've got some wagons in stock. You just need a wagon.
I'm just going to buy a light wagon for now.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, something like a light wagon could probably be pulled by 2 horses. Or something like what you guys are talking about with a heavy wagon. You're going to need a team of 6 for sure.
yeah.
All right,
For a
Aiden,
heavy
you
wagon.
get yourself a light wagon, brand new.
We'll go get the safe, throw it in the light wagon, and take it over to the house.
That's Aiden. That's about $45
All right.
cash.
So if he's taking care of the safe, I could probably cover at least the beginning of this wagon project.
No.
Kind of divvy up costs a bit, if we choose to do this.
I mean, we can use my wagon as a base.
I mean, yeah, if we use that, if we were to use that, that's the real question. Is like, could we take the wagon he's already got, use that as a starting point, and then just build on top of it, or would we need to build an entirely new wagon?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be too hard. I mean, all you'd have to do really is just cut out some slits on the sides, and then you just cut out, you know, you bore a big hole on the front and the back, and then you can just mount the machine guns on the inside of that. And even if you have most of the Gatling gun facing out of it, or maybe you'd want most of it facing, or like most of it inside of the wagon. I have no idea, really.
Man, I wish I still had access to that CAD program. I would just draw up blueprints for this thing. This would be awesome.
I mean,
I'm
it
thinking
would-
about it right now, but I don't even have access to SolidWorks or anything at the moment. I can't do anything. I'd have to sketch it. Ugh.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad though. You just have to mount it on the inside. I don't think the machine guns
Right.
themselves are going to be that expensive, and then
They might involve some kind of criminal activity to get our hands on that.
to
but-
get the on the machine guns
Or-
themselves. But the question is, how well can we conceal it? I mean, if we could do like a fold-away thing where we just like pull the machine gun up and in and like push it out of the wagon, and then we can start on a swivel and attack like that, then that would be ideal, because we just
Yeah.
don't want a machine gun sticking out of the side of the wagon. That is probably illegal.
All right. Well, Nick tells you guys. I'll
Yes,
tell you what.
probably.
We'll have to meet up with Monty and put some ideas together for the design you want with your plated wagon or whatever it is. He says y'all come back this afternoon. I can have him here. He says to you, Aiden. He says you go see Juan Carrillo over there at the livery. He's got some draft horses over there for reasonable. And you can get a couple draft horses for that wagon if you want for about $170.
All right.
The wagon you have, does it already have like walls and a roof?
Yeah, it's
No.
it's
No, these are open wagons.
my wagon.
Okay. That's
No, Dad, my wagon is like a
Well, you
gypsy
have more of like a
wagon.
stagecoach. Yeah, you have more like a stagecoach, a fully enclosed wagon with like doors that open up on the sides that have
oh really?
drawers and spaces and cubbies and cabinets and stuff with an area on the inside where you could actually sit or lay down, where you keep your other stuff.
Oh,
So you
dude,
have-
we
you
could
have
we could just bolt in some armor plating on that thing. We're good to go, and then just mount the gun to the top and give it a swivel.
Alex just put a picture in Discord. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh man, it looks like that.
It's like a
Yeah,
gypsy
it's like
wagon.
it's like a gypsy wagon.
So it's got a hard roof on it too. Like that's not. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's the Gatling gun. Yeah. Dude, if we use that as a starting point, I mean, it would literally be as easy as bolting some metal onto the outside to make it bulletproof. And then we just got to get that Gatling gun. If we only used one Gatling gun and put it in the middle, give it a 360 turret too, that would give us offensive and defensive capabilities.
Right.
That
that's
right
all
there
we
is
got to do is get a
perfect.
Gatling.
That's really the hard part here is getting the Gatling gun. The
And
rest
then there's
of it is
that
armor plating.
awkward moment of silence again. Everybody's like, scratching their heads like, yeah, Gatling gun.
I
Lee,
take my
that
gun
image right
winking
there,
at
that's
everybody in the
perfect.
room.
As
So-
I just walked outside, get those two for draft horses.
That image right there, Lee, is absolutely perfect. I think that is ideal. Like that, with the Gatling gun spacing out the back, so you have the driver in the front, and then you have almost complete, discretion with the Gatling gun.
Okay, he found a picture almost identical to the one I found.
Mm-hmm.
The one I found though, I mean, this looks like us.
Right.
Big
There you
turret.
go. There's your
I,
turret.
actually, I think the 360 turret. I didn't even think about mounting the entire part of the turret like that. That might work really well.
Yeah.
It'll be. Honestly, that actually.
Let's just make that into our project.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, there's your money pit right there.
It's an
Probably
investment.
we need a machine gunner, and I think that it's a separate trait.
Yeah.
Is it? It's not a firearm skill.
For a Gatling gun?
Yeah, it's not a rifle shotgun.
Um,
I guess this is not really a.
Yeah,
Unless we
well,
get like a backup character that actually can use a machine gun.
mhm.
I highly
Well-
doubt it's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll just have to see when the time comes. But yeah,
Wow.
you're right. The real problem is actually getting one. It does occur to you, I mean, of course, the U.S. Army is in possession of weapons like this, and not really anybody else that you can think of at the moment. You're not sure if there's actually a black market for Army guns and stuff like that. I mean, of course, there is to some extent.
Mexico.
but-
Mexico is where you want to go for that. kind of
Yes,
stuff.
and we are on the border, aren't we?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
Could
right
be
there
there.
is pretty freaking
Could
cool,
make a hit
man.
and run.
You start putting your feelers out.
I think you're right. That right there is the design that we should go for with the with like the full
The bottom, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
with the full gunner on the top.
Yeah, because that way anybody using it isn't exposed.
Right.
They're still safe, and it's a swivel, which means we only have to steal one, and we've got full 360 range.
Right. I like that a lot.
I think actually, I honestly, I never even thought about enclosing the top like that. That's a really cool wagon.
That's some full throttle Cthulhu hunting right there.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Now we just need to put a blessed blade on each piece of shrapnel and then load that into a shotgun. That was actually, I thought about that last adventure too. Like, what if we took the blessed blade and then we broke it? We just took a long razor edge, turned it into a blessed blade, broke it down into individual little pieces of like razor sharp shrapnel, loaded it into a cannon, and then boom.
I like it.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Now
Yeah,
that's
we don't know that yet,
damage.
but for the last adventure, I was thinking about that.
Oh my god, I love the ending of that.
So this is cool. Okay, so I just found another one actually that's kind of cool. Well, it's not as cool as that one with the turret, but this would almost be a decent idea as like a trailer. Like if we knew in advance we were going to go attack someone, having one of these roll up so people could shoot out of it like that. I like the turret better. I think the turret's a cooler design, but this actually...
Well, that's a lot smaller than what we have, though.
That's way smaller. That's way smaller, but it's a cool one.
Yeah,
it is pretty cool.
I like the turret better.
Tactic.
I think the big armored turret is probably the best bet, but
you could have one of those trailing behind.
That's what I'm thinking. If we did like a train kind of thing, just have one of those on the back. If we were like, you know, if we found a group of cultists and we had to go take them out, we could roll up with that real quick. And then, you know, somebody's in the turret, but we just park the thing and everybody pops up with that and starts shooting.
Right, you could just have the cannon wagon followed by 2 or 3 of these things with like 25 Mexican henchmen.
Yeah,
like...
exactly. Exactly, yeah.
And then we can win.
We can mobile artillery.
And then we can win the war. Yeah.
They should have had us fight the Civil War, right?
I do like this wagon though. I think this is a keeper.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
The
That one with
Bohemian.
the turret really looks good. Like I didn't expect to find anything that looked that good when I looked it up. That came out.
What's a new heavy wagon cost?
Yeah, I mean, a design like that could be pretty serious cost-wise.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, just a regular heavy wagon. I don't know. Let me look here.
The heavy wagon that he's already got, though, that one, like if we use that as the base and just turn that into this, it would save some money, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, he paid.
I'm wondering how much.
He paid like $50 for just a basic wagon. For something like this, I mean, look at those wheels. You know, I mean, to be handcrafted, I mean, it could take. We'll just say you have the meeting with Monty. I mean, he tells you it would take, you know, a couple months for us to get the materials and start putting this together. It could take as long as 3 or 4 months to build this thing. And you're looking, I mean, he's having trouble kind of estimating what the cost would be, but he's guessing $600-700 at least. It really depends on the cost of the materials.
I don't tell him this, but I think I actually have that much on my person.
So as far as like the riveting and everything that needs to be done, he'd have to buy some special tools, you know, to put together. So
I tell like Isaac to come with me.
This might actually work.
All right,
Actually,
I have added
I'm
the
not gonna
image to
lie.
my character sheet. It's the dream.
Yeah, he tells you 2 or 3 months, which gives you guys some time to find a Gatling.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I you know, I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot cheaper than I thought that was gonna be.
Yeah, well, he said probably more.
Yeah.
Like, he's having trouble giving you an estimate or something. Like he's never built anything like this, but
You know who could help us get a Gatling gun?
No.
look at the brakes on that
Abe.
thing. Yeah.
I'll go with Abe.
Abe's like
Where you going, Ed?
I tell Isaac to come with me to get the safe and
Absolutely, we'll go do that. But I'll definitely I'll pitch in for the war wagon. I'm okay with that. So
yeah.
no
Heck yeah,
problem.
man! I've got
Split the
800
cost.
bucks.
Alright.
I can give all of my
Yeah,
share
I've
of
got.
the.
Yeah, he's gonna
Deal.
need some money down to get the materials. He says he's gonna
Okay.
he's gonna need $350 to get started on this.
I mean, I'll do 200. It was my idea anyway. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, and
I think
he
that's-
has.
I'll put the
he has-
rest.
He has Harvey at the assayer's office write up some paperwork, bill of sale.
And,
all
if
that stuff.
if a heavy wagon is 50, if I do 200 and he does 150, that would leave enough for him to get a new wagon if we used his too, wouldn't it?
I suppose.
Because as he, well, I mean,
I'll pitch in the 50 for the new wagon.
yeah, because we don't want to leave the man without his means
Exactly.
of livelihood.
Yeah. Pitch in the extra money for the heavy wagon.
Yeah.
What is that? $50?
I barely have any money left, so I'm.
Yeah, I'll pitch in 200. And how much are we each pitching in for the house?
We're in the wagon business.
Oh, I already gave my money to Isaac.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the house. I think they wanted.
Yeah, you did. It was 2,000, so it was 500 each for
you
four
guys-
of us.
You guys spent
For
that?
4 of us.
Okay.
I should probably.
All right, you got the
Okay,
deed
so yeah,
to the
I
house.
didn't mark that out, so I need a. For 4, yeah, I guess Van Helsing has one, doesn't he? He doesn't really need a house, does he?
Nah. He's
So
got a
I've
pretty
got-
nice spread out there at the ranch already.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to spend a few hours to get everything out of my wagon and off of the top of my
So-
wagon, all my garden troughs and my.
No, you don't have to do anything, man. We're buying a new wagon. You don't get to.
Oh.
Your wagon remains unmolested.
Oh, excellent!
Yeah, that way you keep it. You've got your wagon, and then we just get a new wagon like yours, and we just start with that.
Sounds good.
So 500 for the house, and then so.
So I still have 333 in gold left.
Yeah, I give the man the 200. I am paying. Is it cheaper if I pay in gold? Because that's what I have left since I used cash for the.
Yeah, you get 10% discount
Cool.
on the rest.
So. Yeah, so I did. All right, so. Hold on, let me think now. So for the house, I gave him 300 cash for the house, and then it's 10% off of 200, so 160 for the house in gold, and then is
Alright.
it 10% for the wagon too?
Are you paying with all gold? The 350?
For the wagon, yeah. Well, I'm my 200 share. I'm giving them gold because that's what I have.
I am
Alright,
as well.
That brings the price down to 310 instead of 350. So it'll be much
Got it.
easier to get the materials with the gold for sure.
Okay.
He's heading out to St. Louis tomorrow.
So I give him. What do you call it?
You
Or
said
10,
you give him
or so hold on,
200 in gold?
10%. So yeah, I'll give him the 200 gold.
All right, so guys, I'll put your house on. You got the deed to the place, and we'll call it down here. It's in town, La Casa Segura. That's the safe house.
Sounds good.
Casa, Segura.
All right. Sounds good. And
Actually, we'll make it this big one right here.
Now we should like
Instead of-
name the wagon, like give it a christening ceremony and everything.
We need a big exterior garage out there, Sean. For the
Yes. Yeah, we need a whole workshop for this wagon. So we can,
Oh yeah. The estate actually has a barn. It's got a little windmill you can see there
does
for
he?
the well. It's got
the
running
people-
water.
wagon. Man, that's a place for Dan's wagon right there in the barn. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and what do you call it? The wagon that we're commissioning, are they building that at their workshop, or are they building that in our garage?
They have a workshop.
Okay.
over
So
there
we're gonna-
behind
we're-
the hardware
when we
store,
go to-
carpenter shop. Yeah.
When we go to pick it up, we're gonna be kind of strolling through town with this thing. This is
All
badass.
right. So you just dumped a bunch of coin into the local economy. Good.
Yes, they can thank me for my generosity later. You know,
This place has a cellar, right? Does it have a cellar?
Oh yes, it has a cellar.
Really? All right.
we should turn that cellar into a little bit of a war room, just in
That's where
case.
he put the, that's where he put the
Let's
safe.
get every.
Yeah. Put the safe.
Alright.
How big of a safe is it? Like a gun safe? Like a big safe?
Oh yeah, it's a big safe, like a bank safe. You know,
Good.
it's like
Good.
4 feet high, 3 feet wide.
Keep the dynamite in there too.
You can fit a couple bodies in there.
I'm gonna head over to the El Toreador Cantina against my better judgment.
Yeah.
I think the El
I've
Toreador
come
that's that
along
big
as
one,
well.
All right.
Or which one's the big one? Is that the El Toreador?
That's the Longhorn Saloon.
Like
A
I tell
Longhorn
Isaac
Saloon.
to come with me.
So I think Hector might try and find wherever the big gambling games are, and just nightly try and get as much as possible out of gambling.
Yeah.
Help pay for this wagon a little bit. Because if we're gonna be, depending on how long we're in town, each time we're in town, I mean it's an opportunity to get some coin out of it.
I
We
agree.
could probably take some bounties as well.
Ooh, yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
That is a good
That-
idea, man.
So, you know, if we're gonna be going shooting people up anyway, then might as well get paid for it, right?
Agreed.
Besides,
Alright.
it could lead us down the path of finding whatever the heck these dog things are, perhaps.
Says Dan.
I'm
Okay, so Alex, Dan, and Abe are going to the El Toreador.
Who's my contact here? I keep forgetting his name. I need to write it down.
Tomas.
Tomas. Let me put that in
And
the player
actually-
journal.
Yeah, in your journal, in the journal tab, there is at the very top thing. There is a player's journal, and I meant to point this out to you guys. If you click on player's journal and hit edit, you can type stuff in there just freely.
Yeah, I'm
Just-
doing that
just
right
save
now.
your changes. Everybody can use it. Make notes in there. Call each other names. I don't care what you do.
Well, Sean, we'll go with them. Hector and I will go with them, and then I tell Hector after we're done at the cantina, we'll go to the U.S. Marshals and see if there's any bounties available.
Yeah. Actually, I had this location marked sheriff, but it's actually the town marshal office, and it's right there by the El Toreador. It's right next door, in
Oh.
fact.
Is the El Toreador? I can't remember. I know the Longhorns where I was last time. Is the El Toreador a good place to do a gambling match?
Oh, it's the shadiest joint in town.
According to Dan, it's he says it's a much rougher establishment. He tells you. Actually, when he
Might
first went in
actually-
there, he said the booze is harsh and cheap. And actually, when he first walked in there was a fight going on in there. So yeah.
Might actually be a better place for finding information. Because that's every time. That's another thing. Every time Hector's gambling, he's also trying to get people to tell him stuff that maybe they shouldn't.
Yeah, well, Dan had pretty good luck squeezing some information out of Tomas Navarro in there. He is the owner of the Toreador, by the way.
Gotcha.
So actually, we can just kind of get that out of the way. That town marshal, there are a couple bounties posted outside the office. But you see the deputy in there. He sees you looking at him, and he shows you that the marshal's office has a whole stack of circulars, man. All kinds of wanted
Jeez.
posters, man. Of
Let's just take the whole stack.
well,
But honestly, you know,
yeah, he's not going to give you the whole
What's-
stack.
What's the biggest money? Who's the worst offenders? that's what
He
we
says,
want.
he says this right here. He shows it to you. It's one of the, he says it's one of the ones tacked out front there. He says, Sancho Milan. He says his gang's wanted for rustling, horse theft, murder. They're wanted in Nevada, Mexico, Texas. There's a $5,000 reward for Sancho, and $200 for each of his 5 banditos. He says they were last seen near Devil's Water, Texas, which, as you guys would probably know, it's located between El Paso and San Rafael, up to the north a little ways.
Are we willing to go out of El Paso to?
All the other circulars are kind of small fish, you know, a couple $100 here, $500 there.
Let's go get
Well,
this.
from a plot perspective, that means this guy's actually important. The rest of them aren't.
Yeah, a lot of them are
It's
a lot
something
of
to
them are
consider.
Mexican. Some of them are like Confederate, so you know, Confederate gangs still out there. Most of them are Mexican though.
Right. I take the bounty poster.
All right, yeah, Sancho Milan, $5,000, dead or alive.
Yeah.
While I'm at the El
Is it
Toreador,
5,000
something to
dead or
consider.
alive? It can be either one.
That's right. For Sancho, it is.
There's no price difference.
Nope. For a lot of them, there
Alright.
are. You know,
Now,
they'll
what
give
is
you
he
more
wanted
for
for?
alive,
Sorry.
but not for Sancho. They apparently don't care. They want him dead.
Dead's a
And that
lot
is-
easier.
And that is last seen in Devil's Water,
What is he wanted
Texas.
for?
Rustling
Murder,
cattle, horse theft,
fornication.
and murder.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Let's
that's
go
good.
there next
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, if he's wanted for murder, then yeah, we'll just kill him. That's good.
The
And then
while I'm in the El Toreador, I'm gonna seek out Tomas.
Okay. You find him. He's in there talking to a young lady. He sees you come in. He says, "Hey, China."
Tomas, I have a business proposal.
I just follow him until I see Tomas.
All right, he shoos the girl away. And kind of leads you back to the back room there where that little table
I
is.
follow them.
Sit you down. Says, what kind of business?
Well, Tomas, first let me introduce you to my good friend Abe. We are in need of a. How would you say? We are in need of a very shady item.
He says, like a tree, senor?
No, not like a tree. We are
Um,
looking for a machine gun, a Gatling gun.
Specifically Gatling gun.
Hmm.
The kind that can be mounted to a 360 turret.
Now, I know that you know a lot about the area, and I know that you know a lot about rumors. You wouldn't happen to know anywhere or anyone that might be able to help us acquire something like that? I'd be able to pay you handsomely.
Hector's going to make sure nobody else
Oh.
is listening to the conversation. Just kind of watch.
Okay,
Don't need people knowing about our
sure. Okay, I'll keep
Second
that in
Amendment
mind.
rights over here.
Says, this is a pretty small town. We don't get much of that kind of thing around here.
No, but surely there's got to be a military outpost somewhere, right?
You got money? And
I
he gives
do.
he gives Abe a nice look up and down.
I smile broadly and I slap
I
a
don't
gold
give
coin
a-
on the table.
I don't make
And I have
any
a lot-
motion, just like stare at him.
I have quite a
with
bit.
cold eyes.
Hector winks at him.
I have quite a bit more money too. Where that came from? If you were looking, if you're looking to make some money off of this, then I definitely have it for you. But we need to know.
And he says, an item like that, of that caliber, would cost lots of money.
Do you know where to get it?
He looks at Abe again.
I
He
look
says
at
you're-
him
he-
with
he
a
says-
much more colder
He
stare.
says, China, you're a friend. You don't talk so much.
Yeah.
He says, what's the matter, friend? Cat got your tongue? Ha ha ha.
Abe's a good man. He means well. Listen, we are definitely interested if you know where to find it. And we're willing to pay, but we need to know that we're going to get the item.
He says, tell you what, best I know, my cousin, Francisco, in El Paso, he may be able to find such a thing.
Thank you very much. And I make a note of his name. And do you know where in El Paso?
Oh, he's probably in jail. No, he says him and his wife, they live on a farm just outside of north of town.
Oh,
Just
bro,
ask
I
for
was,
friend.
I was
Ask
getting
for
ready to
friend.
have to
Can
break
I
him out of
like
jail.
check if he's lying?
He says ask for Francisco. You'll find him.
Can I like check if he's lying?
Yeah, or if he's hiding something.
Sure, give me a psychology check if you want.
No.
It's Francisco Navarro. It's his cousin.
How about Hector do it as well?
Sure, Hector's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give me a psychology roll.
I don't think I have a psychology skill, or rather a good one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does. Everybody's all stocked up on gun and horse skills.
Sword fighting over here.
Yeah.
So yeah. The guy who wants to make a battle
Oh wait,
wagon
I
with a
can
Gatling gun.
push my check.
uses swords.
Hold on, I can push mine.
Is he gonna push it?
Ooh.
Are you gonna push it, or are you gonna use luck?
I'm gonna use luck.
How
I'd
much
save the
did he
luck.
say it was going to cost?
It's only
I
got
have
for
90 for luck.
Lee,
Oh,
he
my.
said, an item of that caliber costs a lot of money. That's all he said.
How much? Dude. How much?
The exact amount is so much.
Well, let's see if Abe succeeds. You're gonna use your 4 luck.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. So then you pass, right?
So Abe, Tomas, he seems pretty on the level. He does seem like the kind of guy that is not really very upstanding in the community, let's say. And but he does seem trustworthy just from his body language and the way he's talking. Although you can tell that he does not like you very
All right.
What'd you do to him?
Now,
He seems to like Dan just fine.
one more question, Tomas, if I may. You say that it will cost a lot of money. Can you ballpark it?
So much.
I just get up and leave
So many.
after learning this from him.
He says I don't know. Probably a lot of money. How much you got?
Some. Maybe not enough. Maybe enough. Not sure. But I'll definitely talk to your cousin about it. And here's 2 more gold for the help, and I put 2 gold down. And then 1 more for discretion. We don't want the marshal or the sheriff to find out that we're looking for this, after all. And I put 1 more down. Tomas, you've been a big help. If you need anything from me, please let me know. And I
get up
and
like
I
$1.
shake his hand.
All right. Yeah, he takes the money. He nods. He gives this, reassuring nod. He shakes your hand, Dan, and he says some expletive about gringos and how he won't tell them. All right.
And I leave.
Perfect.
We leave.
All right.
So
that
we'll
was...
go down to the let's go down to the U.S. Marshal and see if there's any federal warrants.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Let's go see them. Say hello. Ask
Maybe the
him
marshal
how.
knows where I can get a Gatling gun. I will
No,
not.
that's-
I will
that's
not
not-
ask the marshal that.
Stop this. He's probably going to arrest you right on the
Yes,
spot.
that's why I said I'm not going to ask him that.
He's going to arrest you, man.
'Cause I like this Gatling gun, which is ironic because my character uses swords, but I'm really digging the Gatling gun.
No one can use the
You have
Gatling
some
gun.
kind of
The
you should
tree.
have some kind of like spring-loaded chair. You jump out of the coach with your swords.
Actually, that's not the worst idea.
Shoot
See,
you
with
out
that,
like an ejector seat. Come out with your sword.
see, with that high dexterity and the fact that I can make a dodge roll and then the next turn still attack, I mean, like they could, even if they have readied weapons, okay, they get their first volley off, they hit the wagon, while they're
You launch
reloading.
out of
Here, I launch out and cleave some heads real quick.
Duck back in.
Leave
All
it to
right.
me to find a way to bring a knife to a gunfight and make it work. It almost works. I mean, the first part of that last combat worked beautifully. The problem is I forgot
If you're
that
close
guy.
enough, if you're close enough and you're one-on-one, it's surprising how well they do work. Actually, if you go online and watch people practicing that are like professional shooters, where they're drawing their gun and they have someone coming at them with like a fake knife, just to show how quickly they get to the target.
Oh, it's fast. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's interesting.
Dad's Wi-Fi just went down, so I think now would be a pretty good time for like a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
All right. 1 sec.
Especially that 95 dexterity. It's nice to have.
Helps.
Yeah.
Big time.
So it's going to take us about 3 months to get the wagon built, which seems to me like about the amount of time it would take to steal a machine gun. Alternatively, we could try and curry favor with the marshal and see if maybe if we do enough favors or if we do get enough bounties, then maybe we can work something out and actually buy a machine gun from the military. Who knows?
That could work. Hello?
So,
It could actually work.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can get one of the military officials like drunk enough to like bet a Gatling gun.
Oh my god!
Actually,
that's a great idea.
that actually might work.
Yeah. It might
Actually.
work.
Oh.
It could. If you get him drunk enough. Probably to the point where it nearly kills him. Oh, Dr. Van Helsing's. Too bad it's not Dr. Van Helsing.
Alright, I am back.
Hello.
Just give me one more minute. I'll be back from break here. Just gonna get my drink. I want a rebooting. I don't know what the hell happened there, but seems to be working now. I'll be right back.
It's raining.
The reboot usually fixes everything.
It might be useful to like get land for Van Helsing. We dominate.
Doing a tad bit of research on Gatling guns. Yeah, they can shoot 100 or just Gatling guns of the Civil War era could shoot 100 to 200 bullets in the time it took people to shoot one out of a standard rifle.
Which is actually pretty fast.
That's very fast. I mean, that's not by today's standard. That's not fast because we have assault rifles that shoot faster than that. But I mean, kind of funny. I think I found a little like mini documentary on it. That's kind of cool. Hey, we could mount a cannon on it too. You know that one's probably.
That's probably going to destroy the wagon.
Yeah, that might compromise the wagon's integrity, and it may or may not also kill the horses.
If we get a fort, an abandoned fort.
You know.
We can put a small cannon at La Casa.
Yeah,
Segura.
I was about to say we just bought a house. Let's put a cannon in the house.
Or if we find like a castle or a fort.
Really, we should really reinforce the house as far as like, you know,
Like
explosive
having
work.
like 10 rifles.
I think
25
all the
pistols.
furniture, like tabletops and stuff, on the bottom we should hide bulletproof sheets of metal, so that if somebody were to break in, we just tip it over real quick and it's a little shield.
Yeah, we don't have that much stuff in that house yet.
Oh, it's completely empty. We should probably have the safe. We should hide that within a secret room. We can close it off, put a bookshelf in front of it or something.
Well, that's in the cellar, which can easily be concealed.
Okay, it's in the cellar. Then yeah, that's pretty concealable.
We might need to get Van Helsing to help us. Probably.
Thinking about like putting like a big, huge, heavy door, front door, and
He can have his
putting
lab
heavy
here.
have the crosses on them so you can shoot out real easy, and putting some reinforcement behind the walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just in case the house is ever attacked.
Maybe we could have almost like a downward-facing louvers kind of thing on the windows so we can shoot out, but people can't really shoot in.
Well, another thing to do is to use the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
Really just kind of shoot out at ground level.
That's nice.
We should rig up the whole yard of that house to be guerrilla warfare as well.
We might want to be a little careful about that. You could have a
Actually-
child running down the street that would cross into the yard and fall into one of our traps.
That's true. But we can buy mines.
Yeah, we just have to keep all the defensive stuff inside the house.
Only inside the house.
Oh, dude. We could put a mine dispenser on the wagon. That way, if someone's chasing us, we just drop a mine out of the back real quick. A boom.
It doesn't work like that.
I guess it doesn't. It would have to be proximity based, and there's no way there's technology for that.
Unless the doctor
That's what you
finds a way.
You could drop a big
to
bag
do
of
that.
iron spikes. You could drop a big bag of iron spikes. Up
Ooh,
there.
some
Stick
oil
of dynamite.
Some oil slick too. I was about to say the TNT is probably. We'll just stick TNT. Kaboom. Bye.
Just a big old Batmobile at this point.
That's the end game, man. That's the end game.
Smoke screen and all sorts of stuff.
Dude, yeah. Oh no. If what do you call it? we can invest in looking into steam engines too. Replace these horses with a little miniature tank or a little miniature train contraption to carry this wagon around.
No, I guess I've been muted for a while. I've been back listening to you guys. I put a picture in Discord of kind of like the style of the abode. Kinda
That's
like
the house.
old Spanish, kind of that style. It's not the exact. This is more modern looking, but about the
So
right
that's
size.
a nice house.
Right
That is
style.
a
Oh, it's
very
hot.
large house.
That's
We
one
practically
hell of
own
a
a
house.
fort.
Oh my god.
Dude,
You guys-
we're
you
freaking
guys
loaded
paid
over here.
$2,000 for it.
It's the
Yeah.
Casa Segura, man. No shit.
I mean, I also just
It
paid
is the
$2
safe
grand to
house.
fix the dude's bumper. It's
Right. No, this is 1869, brother.
Do we have a fountain and all?
Yeah, you got a fountain.
hell yeah.
Got a nice little
Probably
flower
dry
garden
water.
out front.
See, now aren't you glad we bought it?
Wow.
Yeah, that's some
Comes with-
style points right there.
Comes with a bell tower. It's like
All right,
maybe
that's where the old man is going to want to be. He's going to want to be sitting in the bell tower with a rifle.
yeah,
I was
maybe
gonna
church
say,
at one time.
Bell tower. I think you mean sniper's roost.
Yeah. Oh, that's where the cannon can go.
Yeah. All right, so you guys spend the day in town haggling, bargaining,
We'll go to the
Bothering-
U.S. Marshal.
bothering
We'll go to
people
the
about Gatling guns.
federal marshal, man, and see if he's got any bounties.
Yep, that's next on the list. We're gonna get some federal bounties and get the marshal on our side.
Yeah, the marshal's deputy has pretty much all the same circulars and stuff that the town marshal had.
Okay.
It's that Sancho Milan man. He's the guy that's wanted right now. He
Oh,
is
Sean,
a
did you
wanted
hear
man.
my idea about how to get the Gatling gun?
I don't think so.
It's kind of a
What's your
goofy idea, but it might actually work.
Mhm.
Is talk to some of the military guys and
I think
get one really really drunk, and then have them bet a Gatling gun in a gambling match.
Interesting.
it
Very
could be like
interesting.
that one in a chance thing.
Well, the
Set.
problem there
Yeah.
is just finding an alcoholic general.
Yeah, it would exactly. It would have to be a general. He'd have to be alcoholic, and you'd have to catch him with like 3 mistresses, and he'd have to be married.
We can make this work.
Then,
Good,
then
good
maybe.
point.
Not to mention
Then maybe.
completely addicted to gambling.
I mean, at this time period, though,
total-
there were a lot of
total
people like that.
A total degenerate gambler.
That is one of 5 people in the West right
Yeah.
now. But
We got like a solid 20% chance with any person we meet. So
but maybe not with the military. Who knows?
Let's see here. There are some actually U.S. Army. There are some forts in the area here. I'm looking at a map.
We could find like an abandoned.
Ooh, could you mark those for me?
Take an abandoned fort.
We go to the Longhorn and let Hector do some gambling.
We have an abandoned fort, my friend.
yeah, I was gonna say let's Hector
Like
on a
as
nightly
like
basis.
backup,
Hector's gonna do
like,
some gambling at the
like
Longhorn and try to get some information out of people in the process.
Yeah, I actually found a good picture here. I'll pull it into Roll20. It's a little map of federal forts at the time.
Any in this immediate area?
Yes, actually. Here, let me resize it here. Alright. So, federal forts, Texas, 1866 to 1890. So what we're looking at is up here, kind of up here in the Boot Heel. You got Fort Bliss, Fort Hancock, Fort Quitman. You guys, here, let me look at the map down here. You guys are located right on the border of New Mexico to the north. You guys are about right near Fort Hancock, around this area.
Is there like abandoned forts?
So where do the guys go for R&R? That's
Yeah.
the question. Did they go to El Paso to party, or do they go? Where do they?
Yeah, most likely. El Paso is only about 50 miles northwest of San Rafael. San Rafael is just kind of a small, sleepy town, just like many small towns kind of along the border here. But El Paso is a big town.
We hit up El Paso, man. Maybe Hector can meet some guys in the
We should probably
local
get some
pubs,
property over
become
there as
gambling
well.
buddies with some of these military guys. Try to work the way up, see what we find out. Because who knows?
So-
Maybe maybe one of these foot soldiers is looking for a little extra money, and if he can snag us a Gatling gun, said money could be his.
Where was the cousin? Where was Tomas's cousin located?
And
Yeah,
El
Francisco's in El Paso.
Yeah, I was
In
gonna
El
say we have
Paso,
to head
too.
there anyway, don't we?
So yeah, but tonight. Okay, so we're at the Longhorn talking about this.
Okay.
yeah.
Here's the other map, kind
Like,
of in relation. here.
like probably in the corner.
Gamble away, my friend.
Yeah.
You wanna try to make some money.
What do you call it?
Oh,
Is there a
you're
house
running away.
game or anything like that?
All right, we're gonna do some gambling.
Yeah, let's do some gambling. Try to get the moolah back.
Where exactly is Thomas's cousin or Tomas's cousin?
He said in El Paso. He lives on a farm just north of town. He said just ask for Francisco.
So we got stuff like the house. We got the house here for a safe house. We got the wagon queued up, so we got to head to El Paso anyway. And then I assume the doctor will come with us to El Paso.
All right, Stuart. I'll tell you what. Give me a luck roll. If you make
All
your
right.
luck roll, we'll find a high stakes game for you this afternoon at the Longhorn.
Ugh.
All right,
Oof.
so it's not gonna be too much. So how about you can get in for about $30? Kind of a medium stakes game going on this afternoon down there.
Sounds good. I use cash, of course.
All right, you gonna play against the house, or you gonna play against a bunch of cheaters? Just kidding.
I'll-
The house, man.
yeah, I'll go with the house.
Okay, well here we go. On a failure, you lose your money. On a regular success, you break even. On a hard success, You triple your money on extreme success. Cha-ching. Good luck.
Oh,
Look at that. Boom, dude. You should play the slots.
dude.
All
That's
right.
what? Cause
That's
so
the best.
30 to enter, and it's 10x minimum. Oh my god.
Just for that, I'm gonna let you add a D10 to your credit rating.
Awesome.
And check it. Check your credit rating and add a D10 right away.
Okay.
And you walk out of there with $300 that afternoon. That's
Awesome.
nice work.
I'm assuming that's cash, not gold.
It's cash.
Place
Yeah.
it in the
It will not
like
let me
a
check
gnome
my
plays
credit
it
rating.
into the safe.
Oh yeah.
No, there's no check for credit rating. Should I just
Oh,
roll it?
I guess there's not. Yeah, just add a D10 to credit rating. Go for it.
You get into a high stakes game, my friend.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Work
That
club
would've been
says.
nice. Yeah, I would have said, "Oh, it's $125 to get in." And he's like, "Dude, can I borrow some money to play poker?" I don't know how much money you
Me?
have, but
I'm loaded, more or less.
even
Actually,
after
I think I have less than the rest of the party right now after getting.
Oh,
the
that's
wagon
true.
stuff.
Oh, you spent a lot of that gold, yeah.
I did. Got to make sure that wagon's taken care of.
All right, nicely done with the gambling roll. That was epic.
Yeah.
So you other guys kind of hanging around town, just talking about the Gatling gun, the plans with the wagon and everything. You guys meet this guy at the Longhorn Saloon, and he's telling this. He's kind of telling this story to some of his friends, and he starts telling you guys too about these rumors going around town. Apparently, some time ago, in the area map here. Some time ago, earlier or late last year, let's say, Everett Scanlon, a local rancher, he caught the young son of another local rancher stealing potatoes from his cellar. And the boy's name was Julio Romero. He's the young son of another local rancher, Gustavo Romero. So right down here on your map, you can see the Scanlon and Romero properties kind of butt up against each other at Scorpion Creek.
Scorpion Creek.
You know,
The irony.
and Everett Scanlon chased the young boy, and he trapped him down near Scorpion Creek after the boy ran afoul of some barbed wire and hurt himself badly. And the boy claimed to Everett that an old man gave him the potatoes. But apparently Scanlon scolded the badly injured boy and left him at the creek, forcing the boy to walk home with a badly injured leg. And old Julio, the boy died 6 days later from gangrene. And everybody at the table's like, goddamn Everett Scanlon, or whatever. And someone mentions that someone that they call in this conversation, somebody calls her or it the Bruja in town, they say couldn't save him. And word is that the Romero family has it in for Everett Scanlon. And town marshal Mateo is trying to keep the peace. Apparently neither Everett Scanlon or Gustavo Romero are actually even allowed in San Rafael at this point. But apparently there's some kind of family feud going on down there.
The Bruja, isn't that like a witch or a folk healer? Or
Yeah, if you knew Spanish, you'd know that. I mean, yeah, you figure that out pretty quickly. Yeah, apparently someone they called a witch in town couldn't save them, which you find interesting. But anyway, neither of these men are allowed in town. So that was late last year when the boy died, and it caused some bad blood there that's still ongoing. But recently, some other rumors have been floating around that Everett Scanlon's daughter, Juliet, she's like an 18-year-old girl, apparently is having a love affair with one of Gustavo Romero's sons.
Romero and Juliet.
Alphonse. You guys got it.
Forbidden.
All right.
Forbidden.
You guys got it.
There were some not so subtle hints there, boss. Though.
All right, everybody gets 100 experience points.
Yay!
Woo!
If
But
only
yeah,
that was one thing
Alphonse,
in this game.
Gustavo's other son, Alphonse, apparently there's some kind of love affair going on between him and Everett's daughter, Juliet, which is causing even more bad blood, like between the families, and people are kind of expecting like some bad shit to go down any day between them.
We just need to make sure that both of them know not to fake their death.
Right.
Really would be good is if we can somehow make sure they wipe each other out, and then we can take over their ranches.
Yeah. I'm in
Yeah.
favor of the
Those
kill them all
locations.
option. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah. Thinks Isaac with a big grin on his face. Sounds perfect.
So are we just also gonna go ahead and kill the sheriff and take over the town with our newly acquired fort and have a cannon mounted on the top so that the
Oh, wait a
military
minute.
can't
Yeah.
intervene?
Are we going full-blown murder hobos now?
Well,
No.
Alex?
well, hey, we're already talking about invading other people's ranches.
No, I just said no. I didn't
The
say
sheriff lives for now.
I didn't say. I just said make sure they wipe each other out. They hate each other to begin
Right.
with.
No, we're not to blame. It's not our fault what they do. you
Yeah,
know?
see, that's what Isaac's thinking, but Dan's sitting over there thinking, we need to take over this town. Old Mr. Kwong apparently has a mean streak. You need to restrain yourself, Alex. I thought you were more like, Kane and Kung Fu, where, you wander the land.
No, look, no, that was my first thought. Like, are you guys crazy taking over the ranches? No. That's the same thing.
If there's 2 empty ranches,
No, he's talking about divide and conquer kind of a thing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just War Club says all kinds of crazy stuff.
He's drunk again.
you know what? A couple of us go to the
Or
Romeros and
Club
some
will
of
just
us
be
go
like-
to Scanlon and we just help them try to
Like,
take out each other. But in reality,
Club says, "Yeah, it'd be funny if they wiped each other out and we took over the ranches." So one of those things.
Hector winks.
Like Abe is just thoroughly creeped out.
Hector winks at Abe.
He burst out laughing.
All right.
Yes, perhaps Abe is he's thinking of his cousin, the fox, and whatever became of him.
No, it's more like he's his brother.
His brother. He's thinking about whatever became of him. I wonder.
I think my backup character, I almost called it my alt account, my god. I think my backup character is going to be probably a Civil War veteran or deserter or something, but he's got to have experience manning a Gatling gun.
Surely.
That's something that I think I don't think any of us have anything experience with that.
Good. I'm thinking this whole Gatling gun thing could turn into a whole adventure of its own. Honestly.
Yeah,
But anyway,
it's gonna be a challenge. Hey, but maybe this backup character knows where to get one.
When that happens.
Anyway,
Never know.
that's the Romero Scanlon rumors going around town. There seems to be a feud. Good old-fashioned Texas feud going out there in Scorpion Creek right now. Nothing to be really concerned about. Of course,
What's the other
it might be
feud
interesting
about?
to see what Van Helsing thinks about that, because his property, does kind of butt up against theirs. He probably knows them.
He's probably waiting for them
Hiring-
to wipe each other out so he can take over theirs.
Are they hiring
He's probably watching them with a telescope every day, waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, Lee. All these ranchers are generally hiring. It's always you can always check. And they're always looking for good cow hands or.
I just figured if they're at war, they're probably looking for guns.
There you go.
It'd be funny if some of us got hired on one side, some of us got hired the other, and we just kind of nudged them both towards their own annihilation.
Do it.
I'm just gonna observe.
I like the idea of helping the marshal
Abe's
out
feeling
and
creeped
just
out.
doing a bunch of stuff for him until he finally says, you know what, maybe I can help you guys get a machine gun.
What do we do, man?
Helping which guy out?
The marshal.
Oh,
Marshall, let's go kill this guy.
Yeah, Abe. American politics are so strange to you.
It was confusing to me. What
They're
do you
like-
expect?
They're like cold-blooded savages. These people.
All right.
Civilized.
Oh, this is no news to me. I think what we should do right now is head out and get this bounty over with.
That's on the way to that place where the guy is we have to talk to anyway, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
Devil's Water is on the way to El Paso.
which is also where we might be able to get the gun if we encounter military folk who might know where one might be. So
Right.
it sounds like everything's pointing to that direction.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go on out. Dun, 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 dun,
I'm assuming the doctor is coming with us.
dun, dun, dun.
No, he's probably doing his funeral.
Yeah, he's in mourning right now.
True.
Maybe he picked up a patient.
And not quite a week has passed yet. You could spend some luck to get some hit points back there, Hector. You're still at 4, dude.
Go get some.
You're not healing.
Yeah.
You haven't been feeling so well. There's a doctor in town. You hear one of the Mexicans in town tells you about Doc Collins.
What about this witch lady?
Oh yeah.
Actually, that's who I should talk to. Is this lady the witch lady or whatever they called her,
The Bruja.
the Bruja.
Bruja.
You know, that's what I asked him. Where can I find the Bruja, man?
Well, the guy you're talking to, he says, "Oh no, 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 no."
I need some Bruja action on my intestines, mate.
No, 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 no. You go see Dr. Collins. He'll patch you up.
Yeah, but what's up with the Bruja?
No.
To the El Toreador!
To the door.
Yeah, what do you mean no, man? I don't know. Well, I'll see the doctor.
have
See
the
what the doctor has to say.
He says he says no. The curandera, he don't serve gringos. Don't like them too much. You know?
That's the Bruja. Doesn't like gringos.
Yeah.
Oh, what about slick, smooth gringos like me? You know, I flaunt that elegant chest hair just a little bit. Just a little bit, just a little tough, you know.
All right. What do you have as far as social skills there, Hector?
Actually, I have a really solid
Slash.
charm. I
Okay,
think
the
I
really
have a
solid-
really. I think I have a good charm. I think I remember doing that intentionally.
All right. Well, let's see if you can charm the dirt farmer kid.
He's utterly disgusted.
Ugh, man, missed it by that much. Not worth the luck roll. So
He says no. He goes, "You're crazy. You're crazy, man. Loco, mucho. Adios."
yeah, damn.
I bet
Sorry,
she lives
guy
in the
next to
cemetery.
You get the same thing from a few more people, guys. I mean, just asking around about this so-called witch or bruja or whatever. They tell you that she doesn't like gringos. Basically, is what you're getting.
Okay.
She just doesn't like white people.
Best
apparently.
place to find out about her would be the El Toreador. We know Tomas, who's willing to tell us anything for $1 or $2.
For $1 or
No.
$2.
I don't go with him this time.
Yeah, there's a big
I
neon.
want to see this
I
doctor
just get
then.
prepared.
Big
I'll see
flashing
this
neon
doctor.
lights outside of the El Toreador that say "cheap information." Cheap information.
Bzz, bzz, bzz.
As
For
you're going there,
Chinamen only.
Holy Grail, Monty
Yeah.
Python.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I'll go ahead and I'll see this doctor. I'll see if this, oh my God, they're
To the Toreador. Alright.
That is nice. I love that.
just be like every time anybody has a question, just like, you know, hey, what time is it? To the El Toreador.
Right.
Just play Monty Python music.
All right. So Dan, back to the El Toreador. You speak with Tomas, and for a few bucks, $3. Okay. Mark.
Sure.
Here's what he tells you. He says, her name is Jimena. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Jimena Mendez, and yes, she is known as a healer in town. She's known to treat injuries to man and beast alike. Um, she diagnoses ailments and such. Um, I believe that she has, some kind of training in sort of like folk medicine, is what Tomas tells you that he believes. He doesn't believe in like she's a witch or anything like that, but he does confirm to you that she doesn't really like gringos at all. He says that those who mock or offend her, um, the locals say that she can curse you or like plague you in some way with like evil visions or some such nonsense.
Do you know
So
why she doesn't like gringos?
many of us don't like gringos, senor, for obvious reasons. You haven't been in this country too long, have you?
No. Not
He says,
long
"Don't
at
trust."
all.
He says, "Never trust a gringo." He says.
Hector winks.
War Club laughs.
He says, "And that means you." And he points at Hector. Just
wink.
kidding. Have a drink.
Club says he's not kidding, but it's totally cool.
Yeah. He says, but you have to be careful. If you're going to approach her, China, try not to offend her, because once you've offended her, it's hard to get back on her good side. He tells you.
No, it'd be nice to meet a like-minded person. These doctors with their scissors and their knives and their pills and their
I'm gonna start the examination
It's-
right
it's-
away.
it's very strange. She sounds much like the doctors where I come from.
I don't know about that. He says. Dan, my friend, he says, just like the warnings of La Llorona, mothers sometimes whisper warnings about Jimena Mendez to their unruly children. I don't believe in the whole witch thing, but be careful, my friend. And don't get on her bad side.
Of course, I'm only asking about this for a friend.
So,
Well, I hope your friend is not a gringo. That's what he says.
Well, I guess you're out of luck.
Direct them.
is that Spanish for gambler? Is that...
Right. She doesn't like
just
gamblers
like-
or gringos.
Oh shit. No.
I'll just wait outside.
She doesn't like gringos, but she especially doesn't like gringo gamblers.
Right. So here we go.
If she asks, I'm Spanish.
No, she's going to
To
tell.
Dr. Collins' office.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
I love the music.
All right. Yeah, that
Oh.
will be your best bet.
I did
Uh,
want to
but
know
you,
though,
like,
where does she
I
reside?
kind of meant we're like,
Is it in this creepy house back here?
I'm not looking at it, but yes, it's the creepy house back there.
Cool. All right.
It's the Mighty Python
Creepy
music
house?
when we go to Tomas.
Yeah, I'll mark it. He tells her where she
Please
is.
only do that.
This is
Do what, Aiden?
Only is the Mighty Python music on Tomas when we're going to get information from him. Please.
Well, I'm gonna put
seems
Jimena Mendez on the map here.
Going here.
that's
Where
not the
she is.
creepy house. This is the creepy house.
No, the creepy house is 21 right here. That's Jimena Mendez. She lives just outside of town there.
Oh,
which
okay.
one is our? Which one's gonna be our fortress? Which one did we get?
It's this one down here. It's La Casa Segura.
Ah,
It's
okay.
The safe house.
The biggest house in town, except for number 6.
Yeah, who lives at
Pretty
number
much.
6? Jeez.
All right. So really, though, Stuart, Dr. Collins isn't going to do you much good until the end of the week. Anyway, we need to, since you were so badly injured, we have to wait for a week, and then you'll make a Constitution check. and you'll need a successful medicine check as well to start healing normally to uncheck your major wound box.
How long have we been in?
I think it's been about 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, about 3 days now. And
I
healing's
get
a
my
little
stuff
different in
ready.
Pulp. You getting what?
I get my stuff ready to get out.
All right, you guys
Tell
are
'em
preparing for travel.
Yes.
Healing does work a little bit differently, and damage works differently in Pulp. Normally, in regular rules, you would be dead by now, I think, because you hit 0 with a major wound. Well, I don't know, not so much. But I think somehow, Stuart, you managed to reach 0 hit points in a Pulp game, so that's impressive in itself. But I'm just saying, if you have a major wound and you've gone to 0 hit points, there's that week that goes by where you're just stuck with just a few hit points.
Gotcha.
Not much you can do except for spend luck at this point to get a D6 back. You can spend 30 luck. In every session, we'll get more luck too, so that might be an option for you going forward.
Yeah. Well, I've only got 50 right now, so I'm gonna hold on to it.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? Are you preparing to travel?
Yes, we are going to go off and hunt the bounty, or hunt our bounty, our quarry.
And if Hector's not going to burn that luck, man, we're going to have to wait till he gets better.
Mhm.
Or
Jacked
at
up.
least wait and see if I start healing.
He's too jacked up, man.
Yeah, I can't do bounty hunting at the moment. Once
Right,
I'm
let's just
healed up a bit,
leave.
I'll be okay. But
Let's like
We can hold
Let's
out
go.
here for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And that'll give Hector a chance to do some more gambling.
yeah.
yes, it
We
will.
probably should leave.
Well, I mean,
we can pull out-
I'm trying to think. Are we on any in the game? Are we on any kind of like a time crunch? I mean,
Well, see,
Not
now
at
that's
all.
the thing. Alex mentioned this earlier to me when my computer went down. My intention for the first several sessions of this is just kind of an open, sandboxy kind of game. You've got a map, you've got some rumors, you got a town. It's kind of like D&D, but in the Old West. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. And there's a lot of things you can do, but there's no time limit. If we want to just say, okay, 3 days, 4 days pass, that's fine.
Yeah, we haven't actually like picked up the ancient relic that's supposed to spawn the end time, or
yeah.
we haven't
Yeah, well,
started
in
the
that
end of the
case,
world
world
then,
yet.
waiting the
Dismounting.
week to see if I could heal might actually be beneficial. And like you said, more gambling.
I think, like Alex put it best, when he said something like, I noticed this campaign isn't so much like Yogg-Sothoth, where we know that the world's going to end.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're right. We're not facing end times now.
Right. We know that there's no silver twilight to destroy at this point.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I'm like honestly, well, yeah,
If we want some time to pass, all it's going to cost you is money. Just for
true.
living
Well, we've got the house.
Yeah, you got the house, you got money.
We don't even need.
Van-
Yeah.
We could use this time if we're going to be in the town anyway, not just gambling. We could get this house ready. We could turn this into.
Well, that's what I was about to do. If we're gonna wait for you to heal up, then I'd like to get some estimates, some quotes, some seeing how
Yeah,
much it would
I
cost to
agree.
get some, some whatever we need. I mean, you say you want to.
Get the furniture first.
Well, you say you want to set this place up to be sort of
Get,
a
get
a
your own
fort.
rooms.
Abe is getting everything in order at La Casa Segura. He's assigning
Go
rooms.
over there.
I mean, purchasing.
I like that rug. That rug goes into my room.
Yeah, I
Talking about,
mean,
like,
everything. Stocking the kitchens, getting the bedrooms is prepared, getting.
Gotta take
Hiring
care
the
of
servants.
Oh, do we have? There's room for the horses in that barn, right?
Yes, of
Oh, yeah.
course.
We have a lot of horses.
Yeah, you'll need like a
Elegant
stable hand.
horse.
You have to hire a little stable boy or something like that.
Stable boy.
Yeah.
I mean, we could
Sounds
start setting
very
stuff
Commons
up
going to
for.
business.
What I was thinking is we could even start doing stuff like what you suggested, preparing some of the furniture with, like you
Steel
said,
plates and
steel
stuff.
plating and
Yeah.
hiding weapons around the house, getting some.
Yep.
I mean, if there's not. It's
We're
not
not
like we're
gonna have
preparing
that
for
much
war,
weapons.
but.
Yeah, we don't need. I don't think hiding. I mean, we should have a couple extra weapons lying around just in case. But we
And not
definitely.
that much steel
I was
plating.
thinking, well, I was thinking, also just like, the shutters with the crosses cut in them, heavy
Right.
shutters,
Right.
heavy
Heavy doors, heavy
front,
windows.
heavy front door.
I don't think we
Basically
have the
make it
money
a
for
little more
that right
presentable.
now.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah, we do. Dude,
Yeah, we do.
Hector's gonna be gambling nightly. Well,
Hey,
I'm gonna try. Hopefully, if this goes well, yeah, should have more than enough.
famous last words from the gambler.
That is a true statement.
He says that right before he goes broke.
That is a very true statement.
I'd also like
I
to
have
get.
my-
I'd also like to spend some time getting to know the U.S. Marshal and specifically knowing if there's. I mean, I guess what exactly are the biggest concerns in the area right now? Is that just um, the feuds going on between the ranchers, or are there bandits about?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can answer that. Doug Kirby's talk to you. You catch him in the Longhorn every night. Exactly. Banditos, cattle rustlers. This area of the Rio Grande is pretty popular for outlaws to cross the river because it's kind of a shallow crossing here. There's the San Rafael Bridge. So there's a lot of criminal activity going through here constantly.
Well, I tell them straight up, we've got a bone to pick with bandits. We don't like evildoers in these parts, and we are more than happy to, rout them out.
yeehaw, bitch. Let's
If
take
he
him down.
knows, if there's, somewhere if there's somewhere he can think of where, he knows there are bandits that are, out hiding out somewhere, and he just can't take care of it, we definitely can.
Oh, here. Okay, so here's an idea. Just floating the idea. We don't talk to the marshal about this, not necessarily,
Yeah.
but
Well, let me hold on one second, Stuart. I just want to respond to that.
oh, okay, yeah.
He tells you. He tells you, Dan. He says, "Yeah, I understand you've been over to the town marshal's office looking at the circulars." He says, "So you planning on going after Sancho and his gang?"
Absolutely. He's the
That's
first of
word
many.
about town.
He's the first of many that we're going to go after.
He says, "Watch out for Sancho. He's a madman driven by greed."
Does he have a gang?
Yes,
Does
How
he use a
big?
shotgun?
he runs with at least 5 banditos.
Do you know where they're staged out?
No, I think that according to the circulars, he was last seen near Devil's Water between here and El Paso.
What was the last crime he committed?
He's wanted for murdering some federal officers,
Okay.
Dog.
some army officers, also for cattle rustling and horse theft.
Gotcha. So, I mean,
A bunch of other misdemeanors.
yeah, do you know if he, I guess you just said that, but you don't know if he's settled down somewhere.
No.
Okay.
He says, if you find him, bring him to me. I'll pay you. It's $5,000 reward. That's a lot of money.
Dead or alive?
That's right.
So dead.
Sounds good.
He
Yeah.
says when you go looking out there towards Double Water, he says, watch out for those Apache.
Are there any other wanted men out there in that area?
There's wanted men everywhere along this river. This godforsaken river, he says.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be heading out there soon as a friend of mine gets all patched up. And I mean, if there's anyone else, if there are minor criminals that we can bring in, dead or alive, that's just more money in our pockets, more evildoers routed.
Oh, let me do something right here. Alex, roll psychology. Actually, all you guys roll psychology.
Alright.
I think at some point all of you probably had a discussion with the marshal, even if it's not the same conversation that Dan's having with them. Just want to give me an idea here. You guys suck at psychology. I'm sorry.
Well, my psychology at least.
There you go.
Oh my God! Finally, somebody gets a check in psychology.
Check it, Abe.
Yay!
Abe, So, all right, you're hanging out at the Longhorn Saloon one day, and you decide it's a little too hot today. You decide to go home and a little siesta at La Casa Segura. As you're walking down the road, the marshal approaches you. He kind of tips his hat. He says, "Afternoon, Abe." And he kind of strikes up a conversation with you. He starts kind of talking about the same things that Dan was talking about. He's asking you if you guys are going to go, look for Sancho. You guys are going to go collect some bounties and stuff like that. And during the conversation, he mentions to you about the crime in town. And he says something about Tomas Navarro at the El Toreador. He has suspicions that Tomas has connections to some of these the cattle rustling and sort of the trafficking that's going across the Rio Grande from Mexico.
That traitor.
And he just kind of says it in passing, like he's like, I don't trust that Navarro guy. I have reason to believe that he's up to no good. And he tells you to kind of stay away from the El Toreador. It's kind of dangerous to hang out over there. So you find that kind of interesting, coming right from Marshal Kirby. And make sure you check that psychology roll.
I did.
Hopefully we don't have to kill Tomas. Otherwise we'll have to rely on the witch, and she doesn't like gringos.
All right, so in the meantime...
Who are we going to ask? We have a question?
You guys just want to have like a few days pass here? Just have some
Yep.
time pass?
Yeah, Hector's going to do some gambling each night, try to get a little more.
And I'm sorry, I feel like I ask this every session. How many magic points do I get back in a certain any amount of time?
1 per hour.
Okay, so I'm back at max then.
Yep. They made it pretty simple for this edition. Before you had to do math. Okay, so Hector's going to spend his time gambling and resting.
I tell...
Drinking
I
chicken
tell
broth.
everyone. I tell...
Yeah, I take some liquor and put in the chicken broth to make it
Okay. Oh my god.
make it acceptable, you know.
Because they're a bunch of drunks.
I'm gonna
All
talk
right,
to
Aiden,
the.
You're gonna so hold on. Well, Abe's gonna come when he comes back to you. I guess he's gonna tell everybody what Marshal Kirby said about the El Toreador and Tomas Navarro and how I don't know, apparently the marshal's got it out for him or something, or he's keeping an eye on him.
Maybe we can cut him in if he betrays his friends.
Yeah, if he's willing to hand over information, it's entirely possible that he's not covering for him because he wants to.
Ooh, yeah, there might be some blackmail sort of thing going on. He might have enemies.
Yeah. Well, we know he made a joke about his cousin probably being in jail, but I mean, it could just be that his family members are in on this and he can't sell out his family.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Here's another consideration though. Until we get the contact with the cousin and look into the Gatling gun, do we really want to be messing around with that?
No, we do not.
No.
And that's why I think we definitely hold off on going after Tomas. I think we should wait until perhaps after we get back.
Unless he makes a move on us.
No, if he makes a move on us, I'll cut off his head.
Well, the other question is then, do we want to do stuff? I mean, we should probably start getting some it would probably be wise to get some information on Tomas's contacts because, I mean, if we start sending Tomas's contacts to jail inadvertently, then that's not going to be good on our relationship with Tomas and, by extension, our potential dealer in machine guns.
We've got our main targets, the bandito.
Yeah, as long as none of his friends are mixed up with the people we're going after.
That's not a problem.
Fine. Besides, it's not like his cousin wouldn't know. If we took down these guys and then went and talked to his cousin and it ended up that did matter, well, I mean, it takes time for information to travel.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So gamble away, my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some gambling.
Alrighty.
Well, you're gonna have probably some bad luck here.
Power up your dice.
Oh no, man! It's gonna be beautiful. The money's gonna flow like a font from heaven.
Watch! I'm probably just gonna break even 4 times.
Be knocked out by gold pieces. Oh.
And then you fumble.
So Lee, over the next few days or so, Isaac notices with his discerning eye he has that thing. He'll go out on the doorstep and just kind of just watch what's going on. You do
Pulls himself
notice.
a cigarette.
Yeah, right. Over the next few days, you notice some lawmen arriving in town. They look like some more U.S. Marshals, and you find out just through kind of word of mouth that some U.S. Marshals arrived in town. They talked to Doug Kirby, and also sort of an extraordinary number of bounty hunters as well have recently arrived in San Rafael.
They're coming for our bounty, guys.
Yeah, well, no, word is they're hoping to land these wanted men. I mean, there are a stack of wanted posters in the marshal's office in here.
Go in every day and make sure that 1 for $5,000 disappears before anyone sees it.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think Abe took it already.
Yep. So there's definite evidence of what Marshal Kirby was telling Abe. There are some crime waves that kind of go on around here. A lot of crime passing across the border. So it looks like you got a bunch of bounty hunters and lawmen kind of more or less staking out San Rafael presently. Nowhere near you guys though. I mean, you guys are kind of on the edge of town, so they don't bother you much. All right, so
We're the guys who brought in Kid Richter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't mess with us, man.
We're the people who brought in the Richter gang.
Yep. Okay, Hector, you got your dice ready there, bro?
I do.
All right, let's pull up the chart here, shall we?
We can only help here.
All right.
What happens if you fumble?
A fumble, I think, is a failure.
I have a pretty good idea what would happen on a fumble.
Oh no!
Fumble should be bad. I've been lenient with you guys so far in this game. I'm not gonna be lenient anymore.
Have we fumbled in this game?
Is good.
Yeah. Every now and then I see 100. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna play the house. Are you gonna get on an inside game?
Is there a
how many
game
nights?
Is there a high stakes game available?
Well, let's get that luck roll again. If you make your luck roll, we can get you into a high stakes game. And let's say over the next 3-4 days while you're handling, we're gonna do this. We'll do this twice here.
Okay.
All right. So you made your luck roll?
Yeah. We made it with a hard.
Okay.
It's a very high stakes.
Let me see. We'll roll some dice here.
You need to borrow some money.
We'll find out.
I'm there.
The buy-in is $130.
Okay.
To get in chips.
Yeah, 130.
Okay. So we're gonna do a house game, or we're gonna do a roll-off.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
House game.
Part of me, yeah, house game feel for. I think I'm gonna do house game.
Okay. So in a house game, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll a d4 to see how many people you're playing against, and everybody's gonna get a roll. But the thing is, so if it says a player wins, the investigator walks out with the whole pot. So everybody's in for 130. So I don't know if that makes sense though. Say there's 3 players.
That's in a personal game though, isn't it? This is a house game.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll just roll for the house game then.
Okay. Here we go.
I see, because you can actually.
Oh
my
yes.
God!
Oh
fuck?
yes. Oh,
Jeez Louise, man.
Yes.
Sweet.
You get everyone's money.
Dude, that's a bonus.
Do that 20 times.
Because what is it?
That should be 20 times.
Success is break even.
Dude, be careful. They're gonna
high
break your
stakes.
kneaps.
Oh, dude.
You just got a chunk of change. That's awesome.
Right. So
Yeah.
for the crit, Stuart, I'm going to give you 20 times the amount you entered with. That's $2,600.
Oh my God.
And you just broke the house that night.
You broke it to the point where.
So I'm at, if I did my math right, Is that 2,600? That's including the buy-in though, so I take away the buy-in, right?
Let's see. Well, it's 20 times the amount that you entered with. So you entered
So
with
130.
130. So
So I
times
pay
20.
130, so I get the
20.
2,800 back, or the 20, or sorry,
No, you get
26,000. I'm
2,600.
sorry. Yeah,
That is a
2,600 total.
ridiculous amount of
2,600
money.
total. Okay.
You
Yep.
could buy the saloon with that.
Cha-ching. Ola.
Right. Like, when he comes back, he probably has this huge grin.
Yeah, and a huge bounty on his head.
Yeah, and because of the crit, I mean, you get through that like a pro, dude. I mean, nobody is able to accuse you of cheating. Even Bob Sutton, the saloon owner, is like really impressed. I mean, he congratulates you. It's such an amazing game.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine, 4 guys or whatever sitting around a poker table, at the house dealing and whatever.
It's like a royal flush.
I imagine it gets to a point where it's like midnight, and there's like a crowd of 30 people around the table, and everybody's got these big stacks of chips, and
Basically, Han Solo.
Hector just keeps winning every hand, over and over and over again, until he just busts, the whole gang. So yeah, an amazing success, and
Wow.
shit, I should give you even more credit rating for that. Yeah, take another D10 credit rating. Everybody, including Stuart, everybody should get a D10 to their credit rating for the Kid Richter thing. I had thought of that, and Lee, you just mentioned it. It reminded me. I wanted to give everybody a little bit of credit rating for that.
What is?
Credit rating? Everybody's gonna get some credit
D10?
rating for bringing in Kid Richter and his gang. Yeah, roll a D10 and just add it to your credit rating. And Hector, Stuart, you can roll twice. Once for the gambling crit and once for the Kid Richter.
Can
Right?
I roll again?
No, you gotta
That's
keep.
bad.
You gotta keep the ones. Unfortunately, it's all right.
Nope. I have a bad tracking record.
You're German.
Okay. In this one session, my credit rating has gone from 10
You're
to
German.
26.
Nice. Yeah.
You're a foreigner. People naturally don't like you. Me too. That's why I got a 3.
You're making a making a name for yourself there, Slash.
Yeah.
Nice rolls. So actually, I think in that case with the critical, I mean, I don't think anybody'd be willing to play you for a while now.
No, yeah, they probably.
so-
If I broke the house, then.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless we go to El Paso.
could
Yes,
find-
time to
there
go.
you go. Yeah. So over the next couple of days, while you're taking it easy and counting
Yeah,
your
drinks
money.
are on me for a while.
Yeah, there are a couple low stakes games, that you can get into, but nothing serious. So after a visit to Doc Collins,
You want to start a bank in town, or?
Yeah, actually, I should.
Let's just
start
put
bank.
all that money into the safe.
Yeah, I will go ahead and I'll put probably at least $2,000 of that into the safe so nobody can steal it.
Let's see. Let me look at Doc Collins here.
The doctor could.
So who is questioning whether or not we could have plating on the house? I think.
Oh, that was me. I was gonna go and get some quotes on steel sheets.
We might be able to. We might be covered. Wow, I can't believe that happened. Holy shit.
We could get. Immediately, I asked if we could get a library to just.
Is Doctor Who Van Helsing an actual doctor?
Yes,
Yes.
he's a medical doctor.
Now that we have a house up here, he could start an actual medical practice.
He really could. He could have a medical whatever you call it.
I'm not sure about that.
Consultancy, whatever,
I
yeah.
imagine Tom would probably want Doctor Who once he's done with this morning to go on a treasure hunt or something. I don't know. We'll have to ask Tom. What he
Well, I
wants to
mean
do.
for these
Well, but when he's in
these
town,
4 days for this town thing, he
Like,
could
whenever-
probably get a
whenever he's
patient
in
or two.
town.
Well, here's the thing about Dr. Collins. And Lee, we're going to say you find this out because something's going to happen with you in a minute. You find out from a dude in town, Isaac. He's talking about Dr. Collins. And he
Right.
tells you, Dr. Collins is, ancient.
How
and
ancient?
He's, ancient.
The primordial doctor.
Is
he
he
says-
good?
He says, I don't know. I think he's pushing 70, but he looks much older. They tell you he treats most of the locals here in town, but a lot of the
70s, but he looked much older.
yeah. Um, he tells you he still treats most of the locals here in San Rafael, but a lot of the town folk and the Mexicans don't trust him for sure. But a lot of the gringos in town, they're beginning to kind of question his skills. Um, and then he tells you also that Dr. Collins years and years ago, um, he tells you that Dr. Collins was sorely affected by the death and childbirth of the wife of a local rancher, and he hasn't been the same ever since.
Maybe it's time for the town to get a new doctor.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm
he
thinking.
tells you don't go see Dr. Collins if you need a doctor.
Okay.
he-
So I'll see Van Helsing then.
yeah, that's the ticket. And Lee, another thing you find out too in this period of time, Isaac would find out. Actually, a guy shows up in town that you know. Um,
Fellow scout or fellow mountain man.
yeah, just a fellow rabble rouser, that you've traveled with before, and he tells you, and name's not important because he kind of drifts through town and just a kind of a short meeting. He says what's up, but he tells you that your mutual friend Mercy Chiggins, which is Kyle's character, by the way, Brody. You said he ran across him in El Paso just last week.
Really?
Yeah, and Mercy said he was going to be heading down to San Rafael for some bounties. He said, I had no idea you'd be. Told him. He says, but if you see him,
Sure, passing. Yeah.
tell him I said hi. He says he tells you he's only going to be in town for a couple days. He's heading back up to Colorado to summer up there or whatever. So you get the word that Chiggin seems to be coming into town, and you know him, you trust him, he's a friend. All right.
Right.
So when you guys do meet him, you'll know who he is, and you'll have a connection here.
I told the rest of the crew.
All right. So old Mercy
The
Chiggins.
gunman.
Yeah,
Right.
Mercy Chiggins is coming into town. He is a gunman. He has a bit of a reputation, in fact, as being quite good at what he does.
Can I go to the Longhorn Saloon and just wait? Just hear over rumors and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. First of all, before we do that, we're going to end the session here pretty soon. But before we do that, Aiden, let's do some rolls for Hector's healing here, okay? All right, so Hector, what we're going to need. All right, you're going to mosey on down to the Van Helsing ranch. Okay, Van Helsing's doing okay. He's buried his wife. He's bought some more cattle recently, apparently.
I pat him on the back. Buy him a beer.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Still. He says, have you gone to see the nuns?
Jesus Christ, I forgot about that.
If you've ever seen the old man, if he doesn't shave for 2 months, that's actually kind of what he looks like. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Let's go
I know
see
you had
the
that
nuns.
No.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, I've followed in those footsteps. I tried to grow a mustache for the past 4 months, and my girlfriend finally made me shave it. Yeah, I told her if it wasn't a real mustache by December, I'd shave it, and it wasn't. So.
All right. Well, my condolences.
Yeah.
All right. So Dr.
Rip my
Van Helsing
facial
has a pretty good medicine skill, I believe. He's got a 61.
Nice.
So,
Nice,
Hector,
nice.
let's get a Constitution roll. We're going to have to succeed on the Constitution roll and the medicine roll for you to begin healing.
Okay.
Right. And luck can be spent on these, so let's see what happens.
Okay. Constitution? Ah, shit.
Oh, shit. What happened?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Ew.
Oh my god, really?
So you're 32 away.
That's
Burn
all
the
my luck.
Burn the 30 luck
Burn
and
it.
get the one to get the healing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Let's
the
see.
choice.
Yeah, Van Helsing. He's
Van Helsing's
what?
way off.
81, 91. He's 30,
33.
33. He does have 76 luck.
Do it.
I think he'd be willing to do it
Oh.
for you just to get you out of the hole here. I mean, your guts are kind of being held in by stitches right now.
All right. Well, how often do we get luck back?
How many would you have to burn?
At the beginning of
Every
every
cycle.
session.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. In that case, then, yeah, I'll burn. What is it? How much luck is it for me? 32. All right.
I believe so.
I think
Yeah.
it's 30.
All right. I agree. I think the old man would make the same call. So.
Okay. All right. So he's gonna burn
It's a lot of luck. Damn.
33. Puts him at 43. It's not too bad. Okay, so now you're going to get I think pulp's a little different. I'm going to give you instead of a D3, I'm going to give you a 2. I'm going to give you 1D6. That'll work. All right,
Roll a
so
D6.
go ahead and roll a D6.
Please be 6. All right, I'll take 4.
Okay, so you get
That
4 back,
doubles
and
it.
you can uncheck the major wound,
Okay.
and from now on you'll heal 1 hit point per, or 2 hit points per day
2 hit points per day. Okay.
in pulpiness, pulp land. Yes, it's
Gotcha.
normally 1 per day. I think that's
How
right.
long does it take to get to El Paso?
Not very long. About a day. It's about a day's ride. So last but not least, Aiden. Let's see here. Do you have any social skills? I think you have a decent charm or something, don't you? Do you have any?
Decent charm, but not
Yeah.
like it's just very low charm.
Okay. It may not matter. Let's see, charm 33. Okay. Just for the hell of it, give me a charm roll, please.
All right. Nice.
Nice. Check it. All right, so you're with a little senorita in the Longhorn Saloon one night. And she seems quite taken by you. And she shares some information with you about the Pilgrim Stone, just north of San Rafael in the valley. And here's what you learn about the Pilgrim Stone. It's some kind of, it's like a fossil or something. It's just visible above the surface of the ground there. And it's on the long side of the road. It's pretty easy to find. It's a low, flat stone just off the road leading north through San Rafael Valley. And she tells you, and she kind of whispers, she says, the few people who know about the stone go there to make offerings in return for blessings. A lot of folks in town, they believe it's like some kind of holy stone. And they bring gifts of eggs and honey and fresh killed rabbits and even mice or rats. And they just leave it on top of the stone. And they believe that, you know, they get some kind of blessing from leaving offerings at this pilgrim stone, as they call it. She says, I've done it before and I think it works, Abe. And she goes on to tell you the story about how she wound up being able to buy this dress that she really wanted after she gave an offering to the pilgrim stone.
Is there like another rumor she's going to tell me?
Give me another charm roll.
Oh, jeez. That's too far.
All right. No, nothing else yet. You guys have learned a lot of rumors in San Rafael, I must say. But I'll try to add the stuff tonight to the gossip and hearsay handout, so we can keep track of those.
Not today.
Preferably, you guys should write them in your player's journal, so I don't have to.
So we will get to roll for luck again at the beginning of next game.
Yep, at the beginning of every session, we'll get a luck check and a skill check.
So Hector, the question for you is: do you want to burn the 30 luck and try to heal more points?
Can't. The 20 luck? Yeah, I'm at 18.
Actually.
Yeah, he just burned the luck roll to get rid of his major wound, Lee.
I burned
Gotcha.
the luck that I can burn. Like, I'm out.
Yeah, so now he can get 2 hit points back per day at least. He's healing now, so that's good.
Are we actively going to San Rafael right now? Or whatever.
El Paso.
El Paso. Sorry.
That's my
San Rafael is
understanding.
where we are, yeah.
Yeah.
The
First, we're
other
gonna stop
Spanish
and try
thing,
to-
yeah.
Try to catch that gang.
Ah.
Yeah, we can discuss that between now and then. I will set the next session
Right.
for Friday.
Right,
Good
I
game,
am just
everyone.
I'm gonna burn the lock.
You gonna burn the luck for the charm roll?
Yeah,
All right.
I want.
Better be worth it. All right, let's see. Oh,
You're
I know.
gonna get to hear all about another dress.
Like, I want to hear, like, some reference.
Let me see here. One sec.
A character.
Hold on, I got it right here. I know exactly what I'm gonna tell you. So, from this kind of grizzly old drifter guy, he starts buying you some drinks. Seems to just kind of take a liking to you for some reason. He says, he mentions, what was that place's name? Devil's Water in Texas. He says he knows of Sancho Milan, and he confirms to you actually that he has been spotted in Devil's Water as little as just a week ago. But he says, and Devil's Water is kind of a strange place though, and he tells you to watch out for the Sasquatch. And you're like, what? Sasquatch? It's like you can't even pronounce it really, you're German. And he explains it to you. It's like this sort of nature spirit that the Indians, like the Apache, talk about. And he says, I saw it one time when I was on a hunt. And he describes it to you as like this half man, half bear kind of creature. And this guy's really drunk at this point, right? But he seems really sincere when he's saying this. And he tells you the craziest thing. He says, in Devil's Water, there's a brothel there, right? A house of ill repute, okay? And he said one night, he says the Sasquatch went into that brothel and he carried off like 5 girls.
The fuck?
Sasquatch.
He's like, he says, you don't believe me, do you, mister?
No,
No,
I believe him.
He's-
I think something.
He says, I saw it. Just like the light of day, he tells you.
Those darn
It's
woman stealing
it's not the character I
Sasquatches.
was hoping for, but I still accept that.
I got you. Patience, Aiden. We're getting there. It'll be soon. Trust me. Actually, I have, I actually have a thing for the fox to come in at a certain time for a certain reason, and I think you'll be very pleased. It'll be awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, it'll be soon. So yeah, now you're hearing Sasquatch stories about some bear man that carries off.
Those dog human things, do you think they looked enough like they could be confused for bears?
No, I don't think so. He described this as kind of like a big thing, whereas, the Indians
Distant
kind of
freak cousins.
Well, we
Yeah,
know
they
there's
did-
some kind of giant mountain lion out there too, so maybe there's some freaky stuff going on.
You think?
Cthulhu.
It is Cthulhu, but
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
But then again, people are superstitious too, so.
Sure.
You guys are kind of in a superstitious area of the world at the time.
See, I definitely You know what's gonna be awesome about that wagon is that if the dog things come for us, we can just mow them down.
That would be fun.
You know what I didn't think about though? What kind of
Uh-huh.
ammunition does a Gatling gun take?
Oh. Yeah, that's a good question. So not only do you need to find a Gatling,
We
you
need
to
the
find
ammo.
ammunition
We
for
need
it.
the ammo for a Gatling gun.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say, well, you know what I didn't think? The hunting horror or the Star Spawn of Cthulhu. Yeah, you didn't think about that.
No.
You know,
Those
like the
haven't come
kind
to
of
mind.
things like the guns won't hurt. You know.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that either. But
Hint, hint,
but
nudge,
hey,
nudge.
that's what the Blessed Blade shotgun is for, right?
That's right. Yes.
You know, I'm
And-
thinking, I'm thinking my what do you call it? Perhaps my backup character should be like a deserter from the war with all these like weird kind of guerrilla warfare skills.
Mm.
And so maybe he can have some kind of engineering or science skill because I think there is such a skill if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
And he
there's
can, and like tracking, trapping, survival, all that stuff.
yeah, you could get mechanical or electrical engineering, I believe, even in 1869, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look.
Electrical, really?
Slight hints.
Mechanical.
Like some
yeah,
sudden
electrical
deaths.
repair. What's that, Aiden?
Like, because he's carrying, like, the fox is carrying around poison.
Mhm.
Very high grade poison.
Mm-hmm.
So there must be, like, some deaths going around.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to mention, these big dreams with the Gatling gun tank and all that. I just had to mention the, hunting horror. Sorry.
Yeah, but how's the hunting horror going to get through the plating? I see. That's why. That's
Right.
actually why. That's where the balance comes in. Literally, the whole
Yeah.
reason
Yep,
I
yep.
went with swords was
Mhm.
because I remember last game, guns didn't do anything to these.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Hey,
figured I
I-
might as well invest in that.
So, Stuart, you're asking about technical skills. So there's actually like electrical repair is an option, mechanical repair, and there's also operate heavy machinery.
There's also one that I'm looking at it. Oops, I just hit my mic. There's one that I'm assuming would be for the Gatling gun. There's one called artillery.
Yeah, that's fair. I would go with that. I don't know. We'll figure something out for that. I'll get into it and see what other people have done, but that sounds about right. Big guns,
Yeah, and then there's a science one, and I'm looking to see there is. Let
There
me
is a
see.
weird science skill. Oh, well, yeah, arts or science could be. It has to be kind of specialized though, like science/biology or science/chemistry or science/physics.
I'd probably do some kind of science, mechanical something or another, so that
Yeah.
this guy can make things.
Right.
Maybe he was, maybe he was, when he was young, his family, his father was a mechanic, and so he learned all these skills in engineering and everything. And then he got drafted and he ended up.
Yeah, or maybe he was just trained in the military or something too.
It was mainly the South that had the Gatling gun.
I almost like, just from a character building perspective, I almost like the idea of him being this guy who like just goes rogue and deserts because he has no interest in fighting people's wars, and so maybe the
And the
way
South would
the
be
way
a
we
good
end up meeting
choice.
him, huh?
Like having him be like defecting to the north.
Right, yeah, have him defect to the north. Like he doesn't want any of this, so he defects, and so or deserts rather, because if he goes to the north, he'll probably end up back on the front lines. He may not like the south, but he's not so sure he wants to fight anybody's wars anymore, and so he'll just desert. So maybe
That's a cool idea.
maybe that's how we end up meeting him. Is maybe he's one of the bounties we end up taking or something. Or we find him.
That's cool, man. Yeah, maybe draw up an outline, write that down, or 'cause
Yeah,
we can make
I'll
that
start
up.
writing up some ideas for him because that
And-
way, if he's got enough backstory that he can do. There's a mech repair. I'm guessing that's like mechanical stuff. So
Mhm.
maybe that would be like a skill for like fixing and building the wagon. That's probably what the people building the wagon have. So maybe he can have these skills he learned growing up, and then he's also learned these skills in war, like artillery and survival skills and stuff like that.
Yeah, just
So-
remember you only have so many skill points.
That's a true statement. So
But Aiden, it's interesting what you said. I'm going to end it with this. You were talking about the Confederacy using the Gatling guns. So I kind of looked it up because I was interested. The Gatling gun was first used in warfare during the American Civil War. 12 of the guns were purchased personally by Union commanders and used in the trenches during the siege of Petersburg, Virginia, June 1864. And 8 other Gatling guns were fitted on gunboats. They came in a variety of calibers, including 45 and 50 caliber, even a 1-inch caliber, Lee.
Oh. Are you
And
serious?
yeah,
Wow.
350 to 400 rounds per minute.
we want the 1-inch caliber.
Probably to try to take down those gunboats, I would imagine.
Yes.
So we will leave it with that. We'll let you guys have some dreams of Gatling gun hunting
Great game,
horrors.
guys. That was fun. Good game,
That was
everyone.
fun.
Very fun.
Yep. That was excellent. All right, folks. Until next time.
All right.
Later,
Yes.
man.
All right. See you guys. That was awesome.
Yeah, good game.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Maybe we'll see Sasquatch in the future.
Maybe.
I don't know what's going on next weekend. I think the old man and I are doing D&D,
Okay.
so I'm not sure if we'll be back next weekend.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Just let me know. Just drop me a line on Discord or something. Let me know for sure. Cause I'd kind of like to know who's going to be playing, so I can kind of figure out
I'm
where
most
we're
likely
going
Yeah.
going to be able to.
Yeah, and I'll start drafting up those ideas for that backup character too.
Yeah, do that. And generally, if I'm available on Friday to play, I don't care if it's just 1 or 2 investigators. We'll do something, you know. And that's kind of why I mentioned Gamma World too. You know, we can play
Bring
around with
Gamma
that
World.
sometime too. Yeah, that could be fun. I'll post some more links in Discord about Gamma World. I'll let you guys get the link where you can actually join the game and go on there and take a look at it, kind of poke around, check it out. So, all right, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.